What is happening, my good people? Greetings. How are you? How's it going? How's everybody doing out there? What is the latest and greatest? Hope everybody's doing well, feeling fantastic and excellent spirits here on another Wednesday live stream. Bam. June 17th, 2026. In fact, when I think about this day, I think about what happened 2 years ago. I also think about what happened 18 years ago to the day. But more importantly, and I'll get to those two aforementioned in a second, I just got off the phone with my lovely mom, Patricia Suarez, who on this day, 77 years ago, was born. And obviously, if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be sitting here with you guys and gals watching me talk about sports, which I'll do in a matter of moments. So I got a shot of my mom one more time. I hope she's watching. We just finished talking about how, hey, Ma, she watches the shorts, etc. Happy birthday to you, Ma. I love you. I hope you have a great day. Enjoy. And also with this date, I have to throw in there, as I mentioned, 2 years ago was when the Celtics won against the Dallas Mavericks, Game 5 up in Boston. And then 18 years ago was Game 6. Bio, if you're on, my apologies. Game 6 in 2008, where the Celtics, after 22 years of not winning a title, the longest drought that they've had in their history. And I just had to throw that out there, considering the date and where we're at. But more importantly, to my mom, happy birthday. I love you. For those who are just hopping on board, share your thoughts in the chat room. I'll get to the comments in a second. As you know, my regulars who hop on board, they always chime in. They always have something to say. And look forward to that, as well as those who are watching the replay. If you're after the fact that I'm not going to leave a comment, no, please do. Because I'll be able to track it. I'll be able to get it. And I'll be more than happy to follow up. So let's start right out the gate. Bio, greetings. Val, greetings. The two diehards. Speech therapy appointment. All right. I hope all goes well with that, Val. That's great. Mets have bases loaded. Yeah. Day 48, and he got tossed in the game last night, arguing balls and strikes. I mean, what more? What more needs to be shown, needs to be said, needs to be done? I get it. It is June 17th. You're not going to be able to revamp this whole organization. Why not? As I talked about last Thursday with Steve Cohen sitting courtside at Madison Square Garden for Game 4. And he's worried about going to the Garden, watching the Knicks, where his team is just getting lambasted. And I don't want to hear, oh, they beat the Braves 2 out of 3 over the weekend. They're getting embarrassed by the Reds. Last week got embarrassed by the Cardinals, although they did salvage that final game. And actually in that little cluster between losing those first 2 games to the Cardinals and obviously getting lambasted by the Reds here, they had won 3 out of 4 in between. But come on. As I said before, and I'll say again, until that team gets to 500, and right now they're 9 under, it's no way. So Fuqua, a.k.a. Minnesota Fats, a.k.a. Tatsuya Mai, a.k.a. Cowboy Bull, a.k.a. Dad Ships, Jonathan Sean Cup, Everyday Mets, my guy, 44 days or 48 days and counting. And I got news for you. Fuqua, I will say this. I'll make a promise to you. When, not if, and hopefully it happens, not that I want him out in the street, but hopefully it happens at some point here in the summer. It's not even officially begun. Summer officially arrives on Sunday. But when Carlos Mendoza gets fired, I will do an emergency instant live to where we won't have to go through the whole day watch anymore, or watch day, whatever it is. Cheers, everybody. And no, that is orange juice, grapefruit, pineapple, ginger. No alcohol. Although it is very tropical and tasty. Cheers to you guys. Yes, Val. Happy Wednesday. Mets are struggling. Yes, they are. Uh-oh. Ray's going to be the biggest part. Are you going, Ray? And Ray, greetings. The big Knicks fan that he is. Is there a Game 7 on Friday? No, there is not. Actually, last night would have been Game 6. Uh-oh. Sorry if I'm bugging you, but yo, sick art for streamers. What do you got there, Andy? That's on Twitch, too. I appreciate you hopping on board, Andy. What do you got? Hopefully it's nothing crazy. Please. Yes, 2 weeks from Monday. Ohtani pitched today at noon, but not hitting. Yeah, I know. He got the only run against the Rays. And now the Yankees have extended that lead in the AL East, I might add. Interesting. It's with him pitching today. I'm curious to know what this is here. What do I think about him? Why are you curious? I hate to answer a question with a question, but why? Why are we, if you're cool with it, you could drop your IG or Discord here. I got to go back to hold on a second. If you want to give me a second there, Andy. Yeah, because I don't have Twitch open. It's actually one of the rare responses I've gotten on Twitch, so I appreciate that, Andy. Because I'm just curious what my opinion is. I'm not going to get into that right now. Maybe later on I will. We're talking sports. I'm about to talk sports in a minute. So I have no opinion right now. I really don't. Cheers. Ask me another question. Ask me if I'm going to the Knicks parade tomorrow, which I am not. I have a podcast to host. And how come you don't have a name? What's going on here? Can you please answer that? Victor still thinks he won the series. Please, Ray, Kenny Atkinson still thinks he won the series based on the analytics. So, yeah, if it has to do with sports, we can. But listen, why bringing him up? It doesn't make any sense there. I appreciate the question, though. I can't even refer you by a name. It's almost like the Prince symbol. I appreciate you asking. I don't want to be disingenuous, though, and I certainly don't want to disregard your question. But I don't really have an opinion right now. By the way, it's Andy. All right, you know what I'm going to do just for that? Let's take a screenshot of that. Can't believe I'm actually doing this right now, but that's all right. I'll get to sports. And I also have a guest at the bottom of the hour. Little surprise. So we're going to recap a bunch of different things. But now as we get to it, and I'll get back to the comments in a second, let's kick this off right here. I hate to kind of say this, people. Let me just do one other thing before nope, we don't want to do that. Hold on. Let me just do this. Yeah, we know about the comment. Right. Yeah, before I get to my first post, and you got to be warned, people, because it's coming. And I got a sense of that more so today. And yes, I understand some stuff to discuss, especially what happened yesterday with the World Cup with Lionel Messi and Mbappe and hope I'm pronouncing the guy's name from England, Holland, having great performances. And yes, there's some baseball, which I know I talked about a little bit on Monday, but yeah, right now, I almost feel like baseball is non-existent, even with the Yankees doing well here in the Bronx. But it's coming, people. Now, we have the draft, which I forgot, and I know Danavis, once he jumps on, I know he mentioned that the draft is Wednesday, which it is, but the draft actually is next Tuesday, or this coming Tuesday. So it's Tuesday, Wednesday, not, I thought Thursday, Friday, and I believe last year was Wednesday, Thursday, so you're going to have Tuesday, Wednesday. So I guess I'll talk NBA draft on Monday on the podcast, but there's nothing coming down the pike. NHL draft, all right, the Maple Leafs have the first pick. They're probably going to choose Gavin McKenna. Free agency, you got to wait till July 1st or maybe a day or two before that because you know they're going to have the quote-unquote tampering or legal tampering. So you got that. But right now, you don't have a lot cooking. And I understand I got to start or segue to this because I'm in the middle of it. I'm living it. Not a part of it, but with the parade being tomorrow and everybody talking about what to expect, how many people are going to be there. It's the first ever ticker tape parade for the Knicks, even though they won the 2 titles in 69, 70, 72, 73, but they did not have a parade. For what reason, I don't know. I didn't Google it or research it, excuse me, by any stretch. But the party continues. And everybody who's, whether it's the talk shows, whether it's the greatest moment in New York sports history, whether Jalen Brunson's the king of New York, whether Jalen Brunson's a top 5 player in the NBA right now, I mean, that's all you hear. And you know me, I'm not a debate show. We can debate it all you want. I mean, I brought up, not that I'm bringing that up to debate it. And who knows, maybe this is something we'll discuss with the guest that's going to come in about 20 minutes. But because this is a rarity, this is like Bigfoot or the Loch Ness Monster or Halley's Comet. If you blinked and you missed it, well, people are going to talk about it. And they're going to talk about it to this day. So that's what I've been immersed in. I've seen all the videos. I've seen the interviews. I've seen everything. And once we get past tomorrow, and by any means, I'm not trying to throw cold water on it, but once we get past tomorrow, then we can exhale a little bit. Because the parade is the culmination. But you still have opening night of the NBA season, which I'm going to make a prediction right now. Here on, you know the date, June 17th. I think that opening game, now, this is just at this very moment. We got to see what's going to happen once we get to July, past the 4th. We'll say the 6th. And if I think correctly, the 6th is a Monday. So 2 days after that, I'll probably have a better feel, but this is going to be my preliminary prediction. I think opening night, when they raise the banner to the rafters and they get their rings, and listen, that's going to be the cherry on top. That's going to be the moment where it really is going to sink in. Obviously, they're going to have plenty of months between now and then for it to sink in if it hasn't sunk into the Knicks fan already. But that night, when they see that banner and it's next to the 72-73 and the 69-70, and I can only imagine what the rings are going to look like. Obviously, Jim Dolan, the owner, I'm sure he's going to bling it out to, who knows? It's probably going to look like the size of 2 knuckles, let alone 1. And at that point, that's going to be the hottest ticket. And I believe that the opponent that night, and why not? It's going to be the Celtics. Especially if somehow, some way, and I'm hearing a lot of the rumors, and I don't really want to get into that right now. Maybe when we get to Monday, or if something happens between now and Monday, because there's a lot of traction with the Giannis rumors. And listen, you want to leave a comment, you want to talk about it, we can certainly do so. But a lot of this Giannis to Boston, I'm wondering if this is actually going to happen before we get to the draft. So I would think that opening night, why not Celtics Knicks? I don't think it's going to be Cleveland. Nobody wants to see that. Could it be the Pistons? Maybe. Not going to be the Brooklyn Nets. That's for sure. It's not going to be a team from the West. You're not going to have a situation where I'm sure people are going to hope and pray. Maybe that's a little strong, but people would probably love the thought of, considering you're going to have New England at Seattle to open up the football season, that I'm sure the basketball fan would love to have San Antonio coming to New York to play the Knicks. That's not going to happen. Because generally when a team from the West, although they do play in the South, they'll usually make a trip either not at the midway point of the season, but maybe in the second quarter of the season. So after the first 20 games, they'll come in or whatever. Because remember last year, I believe they didn't come until late February, even into March. So, and I would think they want to save that game. They don't want to put that as the opener. And the Lakers aren't going to come here for opening night, and the Nuggets, none of those teams out west. I'd be shocked if that's the case. So if you're thinking about an East team, it's not going to be Miami. Maybe if Giannis goes to Miami, who knows? But I think that night's going to have Celtics Knicks written all over it. And as I just posted, tomorrow I know weather's going to be iffy. Mid to upper 70s, may rain. I don't know why they didn't do the parade yesterday. I guess they had to have all the logistics and make sure plenty of police and plenty of time to plan this, because they know that this is going to be epic. And to have a 72-hour window was maybe a little too tight for them, where if they extended it to Thursday tomorrow, that yes, they'll have everything I's dotted, T's crossed, etc. But I'll say this, for the Knicks fan, I hope it doesn't rain. And even if it does, it's not going to stop them. And I know there's going to be a lot of talk, all back-to-back, whatever. Come on. Too soon to even get into that. But I just hope everybody's safe. Hope everybody enjoys. Hope it's a day that everybody should relish. Put it this way. If that were the Mets, I'd be down there. I have to go. I think I've shared the story a million times. When the Mets won in 86, I was a senior in high school. And I even told my mom, I said, Ma, I'm not going to school that day. I'm going to the parade. The hell you're not. So I said, all right, I guess I'm not going. Listen, there could be 8 zillion people there. I'd make my way down there to experience that, to witness that, et cetera, et cetera. And people could say, yeah, I could go down there to get to content, whatever, but I got to be down there at the crack of dawn. Would it be worth it? I guess it would, to interview, whatever, but it's just going to be chaotic. It's going to be over the top. And I'm sure I'm going to see plenty of other videos from vloggers, from other content creators, and hopefully they stay true to their craft or true to what it is that they're doing. But yeah, I'd just rather do it that way, and away we go. And this is just to show you, before I get to the comments, and this is just to show you how big not only the Knicks and that story has been here in New York, but think about throughout the country. The highest rated finals game, it peaked at 33 million. It averaged 24 million. That's the highest rated final since 1998. And think about the series that we've had over that time. We've had 2 Lakers-Celtics series, which obviously didn't come close. We had San Antonio-Miami, the first one, where the Ray Allen shot, and in the Game 7, nowhere close. You had, you want to say last year, 7 games was Indiana OKC. Did anybody care? Absolutely not. Go back to the Laker three-peat. Philadelphia. The year before that, obviously, the Pacers and then the Nets. Didn't come close. Go through all those. Even the Warriors. Even the Game 7 with 2016, Cleveland, Golden State. Do you know what Game 7 their rating was for that night? A shade below 21 million. And this one was 24.5 million. For Game 5, Cleveland, which was going for their first ever championship, was about to do something historic against a historic regular season team. That didn't come close to the Knick number. So it goes to show you that obviously there are New Yorkers everywhere, and they became almost a national story from that regard, because think about that. 98, we all know. Jazz Bulls, Jordan's last hurrah in Chicago. Brian Russell, Swish, Bob Costas, NBC. It's been 28 years since an NBA final has come close to what we saw there almost 3 decades ago. And sometimes these matchups or certain teams that are involved, the rating is going to be that much higher. Because think about it. You could put any combination of any other team besides the Knicks. That could have been Lakers-Celtics Game 5, whether the Lakers were up 3-1 or the Celtics up 3-1. You think that would have drawn 24.5 million? A lot of people would have checked out. The series is over. Lakers going to win or the Celtics going to win. Nobody's watching. Or if it was Spurs, let's say it was Wembanyama and Cleveland. You mean to tell me that 24.5 million people are going to watch that? Even with James Harden, Donovan Mitchell, etc.? No way, nowhere near that number. If anything, what could possibly come close next year, if it just so happens to be Lakers, Lakers, Knicks, now you're talking. Knicks going for back-to-back. Lakers are LA, 2 biggest markets. You're going to see a lot of Willis Reed coming out of the tunnel. You're going to see a lot of the 71-72 that won 33 straight, and they won Jerry West's only title. And in 72-73, when the Knicks won in 5, and that game in LA, at the Forum where, think about it, that game, and I was 4 years old, didn't watch, because that game came on local time New York, 10:30. Game didn't end until after 1 in the morning. Obviously, that's not going to happen today. But my point is, unless you're going to get those two markets or those two teams up against each other in a final, I don't know if you're going to get ratings anything close to that. And as I think we went through the other day on the, I think it was the Monday morning podcast pregame, when we talk about fan bases, when we talk about teams that haven't won, that have had these long droughts. Obviously, we knew about the Knicks, and we saw what the ratings were. Imagine if that series won 7 games. That could have been the highest rated series of all time. But in the NBA, I mean, really, you don't have a team that you could say, oh, wait a minute, this team hasn't won in X amount of years. I know, yes, Sacramento hasn't won. And I know that, I mean, you can go on down the list, but nobody's going to be attracted to these teams. Nobody's going to look at Nobody's going to look at Sacramento or Indiana or the Wizards or the Charlotte Hornets or anybody like that, where the New Orleans Pelicans, those teams can be in the final. And yeah, there may be a rooting interest among the good sports fan. The casual sports fan, they're not going to care because they don't have that tortured history similar to what the Knicks have gone through over the last 5+ decades, where, as we talked about, football, the Buffalo Bills, Detroit Lions, Cleveland Browns. But the thing is, that's different because you could have the Browns, or you could have the Browns and Lions playing in the Super Bowl. Now, that would be unbelievable when you think about it. But let's just say, for instance, if it was the Lions and the Patriots, because we know the Patriots have been in the Super Bowl a million times, or the other way around, Browns, Rams, or let's say Lions and Chiefs. We've seen the Chiefs a ton. So, and because it's the NFL, you could have the 2 worst teams in the sport somehow, some way make it to the Super Bowl from worst to first the next year, and it's still going to draw over 100 million. Baseball, you had Yankees, Dodgers, you had big-time ratings there, but it was a 5-game series. If it won 7, it would have been astronomical. When we think about Cubs and Indians in 2016, I believe that number in Game 7, I have to double-check, but I believe that got over 40 million. Dodgers, Rays, I understand it was Toronto, but in the States, I believe it was about 30 million. And I don't want to make it all about ratings. But my point in saying all this with everything that I've talked about here in the first 20 minutes is that the Knicks have been the story, as evidenced by what we saw there with the rating. And that's why I had to lead with them, with the parade. And listen, there's no need to rehash the series. And Brunson, we talked about that on Monday's podcast. Obviously, with the parade tomorrow, which is going to put the proverbial icing on the cake for the Knicks fan, celebrate one more time, be down there with their heroes or watch on TV or whatever. I'm sure it's going to be on streamed everywhere. So they could get for one last time to send them off into the summer as the proud fan base that they are. And with the other extracurricular stuff in regards to the ratings, what they've meant to the city, etc. Obviously, I just had to throw that in the mix as well. All right, let me get your comments because I got my guests lined up. And here's the thing. I know last time a couple weeks ago when I had my guest, I'll make sure to go through the comments. I'll do as best as possible while he's here because obviously I'm sure we're going to be back and forth, may debate on some things. So it's a situation where, hey, Ben, I'll give you a shout out. So I don't want it to be a thing where your comment's going to get lost here over the next, however it may be, half hour, 45 minutes, I'll have the guest on. And it's a guest that you know. So there's your little teaser. All right, let's see real quick. Excited about the guest who's going to be? Oh, you'll find out in a few minutes there, Val. Someone you've seen before, that's your hint. I think you finally set a limit for you tomorrow. Why would I do that, Ray? I wouldn't limit you. I meant to say I think I'll settle in tomorrow. Oh, I got you. It'll settle in then. FBI and Congress need to investigate Spain versus Cabo Verde. Yeah, I didn't watch, but I know 0-0. Very surprised. Ben, if you're still with us. Lo-Fi World? I must have missed that. All right, Zip. Congrats, of course. Are you going to the parade? I'm curious. Oh, absolutely. It'll last 20 lifetimes. I've never been to any parades in my life. When I was young, it seemed like a good idea to go as I got older. I hear you. Yeah, I remember you were saying last year, Bio, that you were thinking about going to the Dodger parade, but you ended up not. From what I saw, Stephen A. Smith's not going to the parade. He's not going. Yeah, he's a funny Knicks fan. I'll never forget as long as I live, as you shouldn't. J-Rod, greetings. It's going to be San Antonio. Fuqua, our first parade's A6 Mets. Did you go to that? And I just finished talking about that. Doc and Daryl's just a parade years later in the crack. I know. Well, Doc didn't even show up at all. And yeah, Daryl didn't show up either. Daryl, I think, was for other reasons, similar to Doc. But I think he had a dispute with his wife at the time. 40 years ago. Yes, Val, less than 2 weeks. Knicks Spurs for the Christmas game. And that was a Christmas game a couple years ago. I remember that. That would be good. Prime time, 8 o'clock. You know what's so funny? You say that. That's an excellent point, Zip. I like that. The NBA right now should put that lock, stock, and usually the Knicks are 12 o'clock. They're always opening game. Not this year. That sucker should be 8 o'clock. And what's the NFL game that night? Isn't it the Rams? Yeah, it's Rams Seahawks. No, yes, it's Rams Seahawks. Now, that's going to get a tremendous rating. But if Knicks Spurs, I want to see that happen. Listen, and there's no knock on Bio and his team and his Rams, but I got news for you. If Spurs Knicks are at the Garden on Christmas night, I'm watching that over anything the NFL has. Sorry. It can happen. My guy, never say never, because you want good theater, that would be the move to make. Yes. Absolutely. It has rained here the last 3 days. Rain again. Man, a lot of rain in Michigan. Thank you, Val. Fishing Angel, greetings. I'll get to my guest in a second. It's going to be San Antonio last year. It was Oklahoma City. And yes. Which was, listen, I understand it went 7 games, but let's see. Fishing Angel, go back to work. Oh, she's working? Fishing Angel, I appreciate you stopping by. The ratings were high to watch a slow car crash. The next most dysfunctional. The most dysfunctional team. Well, they're not this year. They weren't dysfunctional, but I understand the most dysfunctional organization. That I'll give you. The team was great. And you know me, Bio. Excuse me. You know me, Fuqua. Led by their owner, of course. I'm at work. I was saying, "Oh, that's all. Dang, that's all right." What's this? It's like Kings Rangers. Yes, that would be. Yeah, Lakers Knicks, that would be pretty epic. And it's interesting enough because when I introduced my guest, who's also a Laker fan, I'm sure he'd sign up for that right now. It was a joke. Fishing Angel had to get up early. She's grumpy. Oh, no, that's not good. All right, let me scroll up here because I want to introduce National Mascot Day. Mr. Met is going to be out doing something. I'm going to celebrate. Yes, absolutely, Ray. If the guest is Mark Salmons, I'll crash out. No, it's not Mark Salmons. Fuqua, it is not. Oh, if it was, yes. Oh, look at this. We will correct that. And Ray, I don't know, you must have some telekinesis. Yep, Chase Center. Let's see. All right, let me get to it here. Oh, yeah, I'm going to see the Madness. I'll do a live for you. Oh, that's cool, Zip. The guess is Brent. I would love to get him on one day, but no, it's not. The only thing bigger, the Mets and Jets finally. Oh, the Mets, huh? This team will never have to buy another meal. You got that right, Ray. I'll watch some of the Giants. Braves. I got you. No, not the novice. Like I said, he's someone that you've seen before, and there's the last comment here. I'm assuming the Rams-Seattle game, 8 p.m. in Seattle, will be a late game. Knicks Spurs will be. Yeah, I could see that also. Bio, he hit around the head. And let me introduce. I'll make sure that the volume is up because last time I didn't see the comments. This is why I'll make sure to be on top of the comments as I get ready to introduce. Yes, he was on a couple weeks ago prior to the NBA Finals. He got at me because he said he had to get some things off his chest. So you know what? I want to give him the floor. So that's none other than my guy Tim of the Tim Show. Get ready to join us. Make sure I get the full screen here going. Pow.
I'm happy to be back. Can y'all hear me?
All right, so Tim, you have to raise your volume a little bit. Let me just,
I've been trying to raise my volume. I don't know why it's low here.
All right, no, because you sound clear. I've maxed you out on my laptop, so I don't know if it's a thing.
Yeah, I don't understand why it's low because it's normally. I'm checking my stuff now. Let me see. I tried to raise it before I got in.
Here you go. J-Rod said volume up.
It's up.
No, he says volume. I guess you maybe have to increase it somehow, some way. I don't know if there's anything to do on my end. Let me see.
If I speak louder, do y'all hear?
How about now, guys?
Because I don't think I can go back and do it now while I'm live.
All right. Yeah, because I'm looking to see my settings here. I don't know if I could mess with your audio. Let me just double check. Yeah, all I could do is just like my background noise, echo cancellation.
So
yeah,
let me get out and come back in. Let me see if I could do something on my end because I
all
don't
right.
know why it's low here. All right.
Okay, and here's another idea, just so you know, Tim, before you jump out. It says that my volume is 100%, Tim is about 40. So even I guess if they max out their volume.
Yeah, it's low.
Yeah, even though Bio says, Bio says we can hear good. Zip sounds good. J-Rod, no, pretty low.
I'll talk. I'll project.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds good. I mean, I can hear you fine, although I have you maxed, but obviously for everybody else that's watching, because the first go around, when I had you a couple weeks ago, they were saying volume up, volume up, volume up, but I was talking with you. I wasn't in the comments. So now I want to keep my eyes on the comments as we go along. And I guess if anything, J-Rod, it seems like it's gotten worse. Oh, no. I know the other guys say it's all right. I know like Bio and who else? And Zip. If you want to jump out and come back in then, Tim.
All right. How do I get out? Let me see.
All right. If I just hold on. Let me do one other thing. Now that I see this here. Oh, here we go. Let me see if I can do this. Yeah, it's not working. All right. Yeah, I was trying to see if I can increase. All right, this is what I'm going to do. I can remove you. Hang on. I'm going to remove you, Tim. That was a quick trigger finger on my part. All right. Now, I don't want to kick him from the studio. Yeah, if you could somehow, because I could still add you back in, Tim. If you can, I guess just either disconnect and go back on. Let me see. I got my phone on max volume. J.A. Reels is yelling at me. I know. I mean, and I understand the mic's right here. I'm like swallowing the mic too, so that doesn't help. Sounds better than it did before. All right, that's a good sign. Where's Mark Salmons? All right, Tim, I'm going to bring you back in.
All right, so I'll remove the mic. Let me see what happens if I just use the actual camera mic.
Okay. Yeah, no, I can definitely hear you fine. I don't know, everybody, like if I could just get a thumbs up there from the chat, from the people that are on. Now, he's not using his regular mic. He's just using the camera, which I can hear him fine. And I know that with earbuds, it's okay, because I guess Bio had his earbuds on.
Yeah.
Bio is a fellow Laker fan from L.A.
I love that. I see he has the Dodger logo. My dad would love that. I don't like the Dodgers.
Yeah, no, he's from LA, big time LA fan. All right, here we go. Perfect. I hear good. So everybody's good. All right, so perfect.
Right, good.
All right. So let me just get that. Wait, let's get that out of there too. All right. So your thoughts on the series? I know you got at me yesterday, and you obviously had a few things to say. So I want to give you the floor because I know obviously you're a lifelong New Yorker, not a Knicks fan.
Not a Knicks fan, yeah.
So let's start here before we get to the series. Your thoughts, knowing that the Knicks finally won a championship, which I thought I never would have thought I'd seen.
I thought I would never see that happen.
Right. So you have the floor.
Well, first, let me say congratulations to the Knicks fans. I'm happy for them because, especially the real fans, I know they stayed down for a long time. I know older people who thought this would never happen. They were probably around for the 73 championship and around those times, right? But I think that Mike Brown won this series. 100%. I said this before. I think Jalen Brunson is a killer. And if you have a guy that can score 35 points when you needed it, you could win a series, especially when you have a supporting cast. But Mike Brown made every adjustment that was needed. If you look at Game 4 when they were down 20-something points in the fourth quarter, adding Jose Alvarado and putting him in the game, he needed a spark. Jose Alvarado is from Brooklyn. I'm from Brooklyn. Yeah. I can tell you right now, he grew up a Knicks fan. I can tell you the best thing in the world for him as a basketball player coming from Brooklyn streets, that's where he's from, is to win a championship for the New York Knicks. And Mike Brown made an adjustment. Forget about analytics. Put this guy in the game because he's ready. He was made for this moment. And to me, he changed that whole game. And once they won Game 4, I knew the series was over. I thought that the NBA and the rest would try to prolong the series because, like you had on your heading, that this was the highest rated series since '98. So I thought they would at least try to get it to the Garden. And I think they tried. If you look at it, they got Cat in foul trouble early in the game. Yep. They completely took him out of this game. But Mike Brown in the regular season playing his bench, these guys were prepared. Even though Cat was a no-show, it wasn't a no-show because of his actual, game. It was because of the fact that he was in foul trouble. In Game 5, putting in Mitchell Robinson, who was ready, he had got big rebounds when needed. And Jalen Brunson just saw it. He saw what was going on. He saw they was trying to cheat them. A blind man can see it. Do you agree with that, or am I bugging out with this?
No, definitely not. And the other thing is, too, is that Brunson, I'm sure, and nobody's asked him this, not that I've watched every interview, but I've watched quite a few. I want to know what he thought the morning of that game, and maybe it was on the flight to San Antonio. Did he think like, I'm taking us home, I'm carrying this team on my back to win this championship? Because mind you, the first 4 games, obviously he had his moments, but he shot horribly for him in the series. So I kind of wonder if that was a personal challenge to him to say, I haven't been great these first 4 games. I understand we're up 3 games to 1 in the series, but I'm putting not only the team, the organization, the city, and every Knicks fan alive home
on my back.
That's it.
And that was Jordan-esque.
Yeah.
45 points out of 94 points for the team he scored. He knew that if this series would have prolonged, something fishy would have happened. He put the team on his back and he came out and he won it. And I don't agree with I guess you look at the numbers, he wasn't shooting pretty well in the series, but that's how it goes. That's what Kobe was.
Right.
If you remember against y'all, the Celtics, right, in 2010, Kobe didn't shoot well in Game 7. But what he did was he went down and he rebounded the shit out of the ball. And Ron Artest and Lamar Odom and Pau Gasol, they held us down. Yep. And in the fourth quarter, in which, like Brunson did throughout this whole series, he came alive and he went out and he won the game for them.
Yep.
If I'm a Chiefs fan, you look at Patrick Mahomes, none of his Super Bowls has been impressive. But you look at the fourth quarter of those Super Bowls, that's when he came alive. And that's what you need from a leader, and that's what Jalen Brunson is. Jalen Brunson is solidified in New York City. That man would never have to pay for anything else.
No, definitely not.
I think this was a great series, even though the Spurs did lose in 5 games. Every game was competitive. This was the best basketball that I've seen in a long time. I told you, we spoke about this when we first met, that basketball has become unwatchable sometimes.
No.
If I'm comparing it to hockey or NFL or MLB.
Right. And
for this series, it was a great series. People who didn't even watch basketball enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Every game has you on your like teeth and nails, just trying to the excitement of the series. And I think that the NBA need to capitalize off this momentum they have. Y'all were talking about putting the Spurs versus the Knicks in Christmas Day. I think they should do that.
Absolutely.
The ratings were high. You can't miss this moment right here.
No, and you're absolutely right. And I think, listen, they're not going to top off what the NFL is going to do that day. But if they really want to try to attract some eyeballs to the sets to be like, oh, Rams Seahawks, I know it could be late. That's going to be late in the year. It could be for the NFC West. But there's going to be some intrigue with that game if they do put it there. And I know Bio had made a comment earlier where he put, let me just see if I can scroll up to, and it makes sense. Let me see if I can find it. Where they would put the game at 5:30, because that game's going to be at 8:30, 8 o'clock, the Rams Seahawks game. So let me see if I can find that. I think it was Bio. But nevertheless, I'll look for it. They do have to capitalize on that, and that would be the perfect game for them to, a perfect day for them to usher in that matchup one more time, and especially at the Garden, because again, it's a Garden. It's their first time they're going to. You would think it's the first time they're going to play. Hopefully, they'll save the second game for, let's say, the second half of the year. And I totally agree with that. Now, here's the other thing I want to ask. I'm not a first take watcher. Mm-hmm. I happen to watch today because I love Russo, Chris Mad Dog Russo.
Yeah, I love Mad Dog. He's Wednesdays, right?
What's that?
He's Wednesday still, right? I don't watch first take either.
Yeah, please. But I wanted to watch it today because I wanted to see what the reaction and the back and forth was about. And let me tell you something, Tim, as I'm watching that, half of the time I would have gotten that. Stephen A and I would still be fighting about it. But he had mentioned the two things that bothered me. One, and I'm going to ask you this to be fair. He was saying that Jalen Brunson right now is a top 5 player in the NBA. And this is no shade on Jalen Brunson. You cannot. There's no ifs, ands, buts way you can knock this man by any stretch. But are you taking him over SGA? Are you taking him over Nikola Jokic? Are you taking him over, you can even argue, Giannis? I understand the health issues.
I'm taking him over Giannis.
Oh, you're taking him over? All right.
Yeah. Right now, I'm taking him over Giannis.
Right. Yeah. So let's say you're going to start next year. Or you can say right now, like let's say today was the first day of the NBA season. And we're not talking about careers. We're talking about like just top 5 players in the sport. All right. So SGA, Jokic. All right. So you're going to say Giannis. Luka, which is funny, his former teammate. That's going to be tough. And here's an argument. And I'm not saying this because I'm breaking out the green and white pom-poms. I understand with the Achilles, but you could even argue Jason Tatum. Mm-hmm. You could argue it. And, yeah, I'm not putting Ant-Man. I'm not putting – obviously, I'm not going to put LeBron. I know. Right now, I'm not like an NBA player mode all of a sudden. So right now, I just blacked out. Yeah, I'm not putting Cade Cunningham. I'm not putting – but to me, how I look at it is I'm not putting Embiid. I'm not putting Tyrese Maxey. I feel that there's at least 5 players that are better than Jalen Brunson. That's not to say he's 9th, 10th, 12th, or whatever. But if I know, despite that he's a killer, I get that. But I still feel that there are at least 5 players that are better than him. And that's not a knock. Now,
it's not a knock.
Now, do they have the heart? Do they have the, as I like to say, testicular fortitude? Some of those guys, because, right, you're going to look at, Luka, he's always hurt, or he's always crying to the refs. And I get that. But if you're starting a team today, you're going to take Luka and his skill set over Brunson's.
Yeah.
You're going to, and now how could I even forget? And people are going to argue this too. But if you're going to take one player, are you taking Wemby or are you taking Brunson? And I'm down on Wemby. I'm down on the Spurs. We're going to get to that.
I'm down on Wemby. We get to that.
Big time. But if you're starting a season today, obviously Brunson doesn't bring the defense the way Wemby does. So you can even argue the fact that despite he had a bad series and the Knicks got in his head, etc. But my point is that there are 5 players that I think are better overall. But as far as heart and courage and a guy that you could talk about it all we want, he could shoot 2 for 30 in the game, but he's still taking shot 31, 32, 33.
I think, am I getting this Knicks team with Jalen Brunson? Because I think the team is important too.
No, the team is important. No,
all these guys fit the player, but that's important because all these guys fit what Jalen Brunson can do. Like you go and you get guys that he can play with, like Mikal Bridges and Josh Hart. Those guys he won college championships with. OG Anunoby, who's turning into a superstar. If you really watch him, right? He's like a little baby. One of my friends who a Knicks fan, he would say this. He's a baby Kawhi Leonard, right?
Right.
Just a little bigger, I believe.
Yeah.
Cat is superstar talent. So the Knicks do have a strong core. But the one thing I can't measure is toughness.
No, can't.
I'm a Laker fan. I love Luka talent-wise, but he don't got what Jalen Brunson has.
No.
He don't have that, right? Jalen Brunson is unselfish. He's coachable. You can't teach that. Giannis, I'm not taking Giannis over him at this point in his career.
Okay.
Jokic, of course, you'll take that. Of course, you even take Wemby because Wemby's a once-in-a-lifetime type of player. But when you're speaking on 5 players right now, currently in the NBA, I think you have to take Brunson somewhere in that top 5.
Okay.
I think he proved that. 45 points in a closeout game in San Antonio when you know you're going against the refs, you're going against the NBA because they want the ratings, and you take it home. He took that home.
Yeah.
If you watch Mikal Bridges on the free throw line late in that game, he was shaking. If you watch OG Anunoby on the free throw line late in that game, he was shaking.
Yep.
There was no cat. They took him out of the game. He actually fouled out late in that game. It was this 6'1" point guard, left-handed point guard, who's not athletic, that took that game and took that series over and won that game. You have to make him a top 5 player. I don't want to hear from Stephen A. Smith because, again, we all make mistakes. We all say certain things that may not be true, or sometimes somebody can prove you wrong. But the way they shitted on Jalen Brunson before he got there, if you watched him in Dallas, you knew he was a good player. Did we know he would be this? No. But they shitted on him. So don't come back now and say he's a top 5 player because now you're living in a moment. But if you ask me, yes.
Thank you. No, and you're right about that. And that's why I got furious with him because he would. And then the crazy thing was that he started bringing up like the high school stuff. And he started bringing up even the Villanova stuff. I'm like, no, we're talking about NBA. Why are you bringing that up? That's why if I was sitting across from him, I said, yo, why are you bringing this up? I mean, stop. Time out. And then they even brought up this before I get to Ray. I know you got the comment there. I'm sure you see it on the bottom.
Yeah, I see it. Yeah, I like that question, yeah.
But the other thing I want to get to is, so now they're talking, is Brunson the king of New York, which no doubt, 100%. But then they were saying from the time when the Knicks last won a championship, where does Brunson rank as far as the New York athlete? And Mad Dog came out. He said, Derek Jeter, Eli Manning. He doing a couple others that just for, I guess, to piss people off. But then he threw in Mark Messier, and he said Brunson. And he said that, there's no way that he eclipses those 3. And you know what? I have to agree in this regard. I understand Ray, who's a big Knicks fan, who posted that comment. Because, listen, Jeter stands alone. There's no even...
Jeter stands alone.
Yeah. Eli, and I'm not a big Eli guy either, but he did beat the Patriots twice and 2 Super Bowl MVPs on top of beating the team that was about to go undefeated. So to me, I think he's...
Wait, hold on. I think that you kind of understated him because to even get to the Patriots, they had a hard trip there. No. Eli had 2 of the toughest roads to the playoff, to the Super Bowls in league history.
Yes.
So and I'm not an Eli Manning fan. I don't defend him at all.
Right.
But when you look at it, those 2 Super Bowls those were tough. That was big. What Eli did. You think he went on the road to Green Bay?
You went on the road? Well, yes. In the first Super Bowl, he went to Dallas, beat him in Dallas. That was, of course, the Tony Romo going to Cabo with Jessica Simpson.
Yeah. And
then they lost that game. Oh, Cowboys lost, and then they went to Green Bay afterwards. That was when Tom Coughlin's face looked like it was frozen for the whole game. And Plaxico Burress had a huge game.
49ers was in that.
Well, that was the second run where they went to Green Bay. Green Bay was 15-1 that year. And Aaron Rodgers was the MVP. They beat him in Lambeau. And then they went to San Francisco where that defense mauled Eli. And they still came out victorious.
That was a really good defense. And they still came out and they won that game.
Yeah, thanks to Kyle Williams, their punt returner, who muffed 2 punts, which set him up for the game-winning field goal in the second game and on the second championship game. I'm not an Eli guy either, but I think he belongs second. And the reason why I put Messier third, and I get it that it's hockey, people don't care about it, whatever, but the Rangers hadn't won in 54 years.
So it's equivalent to what Brunson just did.
It is 100%. But the thing is that, and I don't know if you're aware of this, I don't know how much of a hockey guy you are, but they were down 3-2 to the Devils, having to go to Jersey. He guaranteed, he pulled Joe Namath. He guaranteed that they would win that game. And what did he do in that game? They were down 2-0 and 2-1 going into the third period, and he scored a natural hat trick in the third period to push them to a Game 7. And they won Game 7. This was a conference final. This wasn't even a Stanley Cup final. And then they won the Stanley Cup final in 7 games. They were up 3-1, and then they came back and won Game 7. So that's why, and I put Messier there because they called him the Messiah.
Yeah.
And then I put Brunson fourth. And I understand, like you said with Stephen A., prisoners of the moment, everything has to be about, the recency bias. And I get that. And listen, again, that's still no shade on Brunson. But when he went through all those players who are above him, I thought that was legit. To me, Brunson's, if you even want to put him third over Messier, okay, fine. He's not over Jeter.
I think it's equivalent. Him and Messier I think they're equivalent.
Right. All right, so you can maybe 3A and 3B or whatever. Yeah.
For the people who don't watch hockey, they don't understand that the Rangers won a Stanley Cup when it was like 6 teams, 8 teams in the league.
Yeah, yeah, 1940.
So that was like the first real Stanley Cup championship they won when it was a bunch of teams, you know?
Oh, yeah.
So that's equivalent to what's going on now with the Knicks and Jalen Brunson.
Yes. So now let's get to Ray's comment. I'll get to all the other comments too. I'll scroll down as well. Now, I'll share my thoughts real quick. I'm down on Wemby for 3 things. One, the sportsmanship thing, and I get it. I know Kendrick Perkins, I saw a clip on that because you can't avoid these clips, especially when you're trying to catch up on sports, where, Jay Williams, I think, said it, and Kendrick Perkins, he didn't have to shake his hand, blah, blah, blah. And I get that.
That sucks.
Yeah, but yeah, exactly. I can see if they lost Game 7 in OG Anunoby fashion where you can't even think, let alone walk or speak. You know what? I'll give it up. You lost in 5. They blew another lead. And you know what? You could even do a fist bump and walk off the court. All right, that would still look weak, but at least he acknowledged the other team as he was walking to the locker room. So I'm down on him, number 1 there. Number 2, he was going like this in Game 4 to Mitchell Robinson. The Knicks got in his head. He's a finesse player. He doesn't have that DNA just yet. He's going to have to build up to that assassins.
He don't have a go-to move. He don't have a go-to move. He don't have a move where you give him the ball and go get a bucket. He don't have that.
And it's a shame because, and that's a product of the league with the 3-point shooting and all that. But because he was soft, I thought he was soft, and he let, Jeremy Sohan get in his face and trying to push him away from the sideline and all that. To me, the Knicks, I thought, got in his head because he couldn't play that physical game. Mitchell Robinson with the forearm to the throat, even Jose Alvarado. Jose Alvarado. Yeah, to me, and that first half in Game 4, he was great. Second half, he wilted. And then the third thing, and I understand there's a Popovich thing because he never liked to address the media. He was very quick with his responses. But for him to say, "See y'all, never," and with the mic drop, I mean, come on. I get it, he's 22. He's young. He still has to mature. But if this guy's going to be the face of the league, if I'm the Spurs front office, including Popovich, you got to be a little bit more professional than that. And that's all there is to it. Your thoughts?
I'm gonna go back with your last comment. Can you imagine what they would did to LeBron James if he did that? The media scrutiny he would receive if he did that.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely, 100%.
And I'm with you. When you're the leader of the team, right, it's your duty to make sure you show sportsmanship. Because that's, especially when your team lost because you got your butt kicked. Yeah. It was you. You're the one that wasn't on the same page with Stephen Castle when y'all threw an Aaron pass. Yeah. You're the one that fouled Jalen Brunson that gave him that one free throw to put them ahead. You're the one that took a jump shot when you're the biggest person on the floor. Right? Yeah. You're the one that couldn't get your team together and rallying together to negate them coming back from 20 points in the fourth quarter of a finals game. You're the leader of the team. So at least you should have went to the middle of the floor and shook that man's hand because they came out there and they whooped your butt.
Yep.
And that's how I look at it. And I want to go towards the Spurs because Mitchell Johnson, if that's his name, the head coach.
Yeah, the head coach. Yeah.
He was terrible.
Oh, he was awful. Yeah, he was.
What I realized with this team, and they're young, right? So you have your growing pains, right? Daniel Gaff is on the Lakers' radar.
Yeah, you see that? Yeah.
We're going to bring all the Dallas guys in. What I want to say about Mitchell Johnson is he never made any adjustments. What I learned about that young team is that none of them could finish. They all got rattled when the moments got big. Wemby don't have a move that he can go to when he need one. Stephen Castle can't do anything. He travels all day, right, in big moments. And De'Aaron Fox was just flat out terrible. Right? Every shot that he put up, we knew it wasn't going in. Nope. And the one play that you had that lived up to the moment was Dylan Harper. And you didn't run any play to him in that fourth quarter until 1 minute left in the game.
Right.
Dylan Harper should have had the ball in his hand after game 1. When you blew game 1 and Dylan Harper had 20-something, I think he had 18 to 20 points in game 1. You knew that he was ready for this moment, and you should have played him and gave him the ball a little bit more because the rest of your guys, they went They disappeared whenever the Knicks put some pressure on them.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people want to say that it was because of youth. No, the Knicks put pressure on the Spurs late in those games. Mike Brown, like I said, was a masterclass. He knew that team, they rattled. And he knew that. Let's continue to keep playing our game. This team is going to fold. And that's exactly what they did. And I'm blaming all of that on Mitchell Johnson. I'm blaming all of that on Wembanyama.
Listen, you're not going to get an argument from me. And it's funny because when I think back when I was on last Wednesday and I talked about how Mitchell Johnson, the way he deploys his personnel, I feel like, and I get it, regular season, Wemby only got 29 minutes of rest, whatever. And that was a detriment because I understand they try to protect that kid. And I understand that they had a lot of blowout games and therefore a lot of garbage time. So they didn't have to put him out there. That's fine. But now, here it was, even they had, like you said, they had a 20-point lead. It was 93-73 with about 9 minutes to go in game 4. You couldn't have let him go for a blow prior to that, or maybe at the end of the third, start of the fourth, where he just could have rested. And then when things started to collapse, then you could bring him in. Now, who knows how the game would have turned out then? Obviously, we can't turn back time. But I just found it appalling where, he has to be able to adjust when he can. And to me, he made like the ultimate egregious adjustment where he left Wemby pretty much hung out to dry during that final quarter where he got no rest. Here's a guy that, like we talked about, 29 minutes a game. And now all of a sudden you expect this guy to play 44 minutes in this game and try to carry you home. And to me, it was almost as if they were playing right into the Knicks' hands in that regard.
They were.
And like you said with Mike Brown, with Alvarado, he realized that Landry Shamet didn't have it. Deuce McBride didn't have it, and he knew that Brunson was carrying a lot of that load. So what did he do? Alvarado was the guy that was bringing up the ball, and Brunson was playing the 2 guard. So a lot of the focus wasn't just going to be on him to where you're going to have Stephon Castle or Dylan Harper or Julian Champagnie on him. So that freed him to at least freelance, and obviously got big shots. He had that 3 over Wemby there with about 2.5 minutes to go. And, yeah, it was a masterclass, like you said, from Mike Brown, and a disaster class for Mitch Johnson. Did Tim freeze there? What happened? I wonder if Tim froze there. I think he did freeze. He's frozen. All right, let's see if we can get him back. I know we got Zip's comment up here. That can't be hold on a second. Let me see if I can get him out and coming back on. Yeah, I don't know if it's his Wi-Fi. Yeah, I guess he's going to jump back on because, it looked like he froze there. So my apologies for the technical difficulties. Let's see if we get him back here.
Yeah, I'm back in.
All right, Tim. Yeah, I know you froze.
Yeah, I know. My Wi-Fi went off. I don't know what's wrong with this thing sometimes.
All right. No, it's all good. But anyway, no, I was saying the master class by Mike Brown and the disaster class by Mitch Johnson. So,
yeah.
Any other thoughts about the series? Any other thoughts about the Spurs? And here's another thing, too, that I hadn't really discussed prior to you coming on. There's been not a lot, that's strong, but there's been quite a few people, whether social media or even people that are in the business, where they've said that, there's no guarantee that the Spurs are going to be here year after year after year. Mm-hmm. And listen, I understand sports is finicky. You never know, blah, blah, blah. I would think with that young core, they're going to learn from this. They're going to grow. And I would think they're going to be in a few finals before it's all said and done. But I was actually surprised by that because this isn't the NFL where Dan Marino got to a Super Bowl in his second year and everybody's thinking, the Dolphins are going to go back. And then we never saw Dan Marino in the Super Bowl. When the NBA, if you have the best player or if you have a couple other players that are complementary, that's the team that usually wins. I mean, we could go throughout NBA history. Obviously, last year with SGA, Noah Halliburton there, especially in that Game 7. Year before that, Celtics had Tatum and Brown. Before that, Nikola Jokic. Before that, Giannis. Come on, we're going down the list. So I find it shocking that a lot of people, or not a lot, but quite a few people think that way. Well, what do you think about the Spurs' future as far as that goes?
Well, I think the Spurs have a bright future. 100%. I think that next year, Dylan Harper will be an all-star. That kid is good.
Yeah.
Right? But if you look at recent NBA, it hasn't been a repeat champion. And every year, somebody new getting in there. So, I know Knicks fans are saying, we're going to repeat. But OKC didn't get back. Indiana, we know they had the injury. Boston, y'all haven't been back.
Yeah.
Like, you've had your injuries. You never know. You have to maximize your opportunity when it's there. And that's why I think that Brunson, again, going back to him, game 5, he knew I had to win this now. This may not come back around, and maybe it will. But if we go back to the Spurs, I think that Wembanyama I still think he could be the best player in the league. I think he needs some growing. He has some growing up he needs to do. And he also has to work on his game.
Big time.
You have to work on your game. You have to find a go-to move. Every player had that. And he's 22. He's a defensive player. So, of course, we were expecting him to be LeBron, and that's not what he is right now on the offensive side. He's more defensive player first. But in order for them to get over the hump, that team is going to have to grow up, and Mitch Johnson's going to have to do a way better job of coaching. You need to go back into the Popovich school and learn how to handle like situational basketball.
Yeah, listen, I totally agree. And this is the other thing that infuriates me as you're saying this and I'm thinking about it. You have a guy, they call him the alien for a reason. You have a guy that is, let's face it, I understand he's a string bean. And he's probably got to bulk up a little bit. Now, he's not going to look like Shaq or be as big as Shaq in that regard as far as bulk is concerned. But this is a guy that could be unstoppable, that it doesn't matter. They have nobody that could guard him. Yes, I understand you can put a big body on him, whether it's somebody like Karl Anthony Towns or, please, not even Chet Holmgren, who's almost his height. And obviously we saw what he did against him in the conference finals. But this is a guy that, like you said, should be working with, as we speak, Tim Duncan, Hakeem Olajuwon, Kevin McHale on those low post moves. And even more so, and this is the bigger problem that I have, and I'd love to get your thoughts. I'm just tired of how all these teams and organizations are just wrapped up in the analytics. You have a guy that is 7'5". He should be getting, in his sleep, 15 rebounds on average a night. He shouldn't be playing in the perimeter, number one. Number two, why is it that you have a guy that big where you not only have him playing on the perimeter, I understand he wants to shoot threes or whatever, but it should be, no, son, you need to be in that low block because nobody's going to stop you. Nobody could guard you. If he developed, he should even work with Kareem. Develop a skyhook, forget about it. No one's going to stop him.
You mean to tell me, not to cut you off, sorry, but you mean to tell me that in game 2, now they got a wide open shot, so you can't get mad at that.
Right.
But you mean to tell me you don't get something closer to the rim with this big, tall dude? They have two things they can do. They can either let him dunk on you or foul him.
That's it.
Like, why would you want a jump shot from him? It's not like he's a polished jump shooter.
No.
He's not shooting 40% from the field. If he is, maybe I'm wrong. I'm not an analytical guy. But he's not a great three-point shooter. He can shoot threes. He's not a great mid-range shooter. He can shoot the mid-range. What he's great at is around the rim. Get the ball, get him close to the rim and get easy shots for him.
And well, it's funny you talk about game 2, and I said the same thing in game 4. 1.2 seconds left. I said the only play that I'm running, and I get it that Karl Anthony Towns was there and he deflected the ball.
It's terrible.
Yeah, awful. The only play I'm running there, if I'm Mitch Johnson, I'm saying, all right, we're going to bunch up at the free throw line. We're going to roll Wemby to the basket. I want to alley-oop and dunk it right there. Even if there's 0.7 seconds on the clock, you know that's going to be either, like you said, it's either going to be a dunk, alley-oop, or it's going to be a foul. And maybe he can make 1 or 2 free throws because we saw him miss 2 free throws just a couple minutes prior to those closing events. So that was the only play. Why was he going into Stephon Castle, who was underneath the basket? I know what Josh Hart, I think, was there, or maybe it was Mikal Bridges.
It's bad coaching. Another thing, too, with that team is, and I can see why someone said they don't think they could get back, or it's not a guarantee they would get back, is that team is very small outside of Wemby. If you think about it, they're playing 4 guards, because Champagne is what, 6'6", 6'7", right? And that's like a small forward.
Yeah.
Like if you look at Cat is a big guy, and OG Anunoby's another big guy.
Yep.
Once you get Wemby out the game, that team is undersized.
Yeah, it is. And interesting you say that because I said that on Monday. I said the 2 things that this team needs, they need a veteran presence, whether it's another scorer, a guy that could be, all right, so if Wemby isn't going to be your closer at the end of the game, they got to find something close to.
KD would have been perfect to go there instead of Houston.
Oh, forget it. That's number 1. And number 2, they desperately need a physical power forward. I understand they don't grow on trees in the NBA like they once did. There's no Rick Mahorns. There's no Charles Oakleys. There's not a lot of guys like that. The guy that came in my mind that I thought of right off the bat, and I'm not in love with him, but he's a guy that, he'll be a protector for Wemby, is Dylan Brooks. If someone like that was on that team, to be that guy that could add that muscle and play physical and also get in Wemby said to be like, don't let them elbow you. Don't let them get in your head, or I'm going to be the protector. Then everything would be cool. But like you said, they are undersized, and Wemby, obviously the Knicks got in his head, and therefore we saw how he played, especially down the stretch, missing free throws, taking the 18-foot jumper, throwing the ball into Stephon Castle's back.
Yeah.
And just terrible.
Oh, that series is different if it's 2-2 going back to San Antonio.
Oh yeah.
It's a different series.
I believe
but all in all, I'm happy with the outcome because I'm happy for the Knicks fans, and I think it could never happen to a better guy in Jalen Brunson, and because he sacrificed so much to get that team the way it is.
Yeah.
Like for him to take that pay cut and to make sure Mikal Bridges get paid, to make sure Josh Hart get paid, we got some money to bring in Cat. The leader, him being coach, him being a player you could coach. Like and him having his father on that bench is very important too. Because that's the only person that could get to him.
Yeah. No, 100%. That and everything you mentioned before that. And I understand
I agree
that.
with Ray as well. I agree with you, Ray.
Oh, not the face he's supposed to act. Yeah, exactly. Nah. And who knows? Maybe he doesn't want that. But he's gonna end up being that before it's all said and done. So, I mean, at least I feel like that's the case. What is this? Your content is good. Oh, that's foul. All right. Yeah, Wemby's 22 years old. Oh, he'll be 22 in 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Or maybe I thought he was already 22. I'll double check that. And the NBA best player normally makes the finals. Yeah, that's usually the case, Bio.
That's usually the case, yeah. You're right.
All right. Team took the Spurs hard, yeah, without question. Let's see if the Knicks run it back to the playoffs, man. Listen, if they do back to now, again, we're gonna have to see how the rest of the landscape is gonna look, because I would think, and we can even talk about that now. Get your thoughts on this, Tim. Giannis. I'm reading a lot of stuff, whether it's Miami, even Boston, that this could happen before the draft on Tuesday. Now, I believe he's going to be moved. I don't know where, but do you think if he does go to Boston or even Miami for that matter, does that shift the balance of power in the East in your mind, knowing that a player who, not that he has a lot to prove, but enough to prove to say that with his injuries and him lacking any drive or motivation over the last few years, I think he's going to have that chip on his shoulder to wherever he goes to be that guy again to get back to the promised land.
Is he healthy?
That's the big question. Yeah,
that's the big question. If he's healthy and he go to Boston, then it makes a difference. If y'all don't give up Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown, it makes a big difference because he's a champion and he's a big body, a big presence, and so whoever gets him, get his services, they're going to be an improved team. But the main question is Giannis healthy? It's simple with that.
Yeah, and he's got a lot of miles, and yeah, these calf injuries and all these tissue injuries are obviously tough.
That's a tough injury, the calf injury.
Yeah, because the next thing you know, that could be an Achilles, and
Achilles, yeah.
Definitely don't want that.
For your Laker fan, I think before I got on, I seen something about Lakers and Knicks in the finals.
Yeah,
I think the Lakers are far away from the finals.
You think they're far away?
Yeah.
All right. Now let me ask you this. Let's segue to the next thing, which I know I get it. It's beaten over the head a million times, but come draft time, and I don't know when he has to decide, LeBron that is, because he's a free agent. Will the Lakers re-sign him, whatever, but that's going to be one of those storylines that's going to be beaten to death on whether or not he's going to come back to LA or not. Do you think the Lakers are going to re-sign him?
Of course. Why would they not? The Lakers are in the business of making money. The owners just bought this team for $10 billion.
Yeah, Mark Walter, yeah.
Yeah, so if you look at it, LeBron, just a farewell tour will make so much money. That's what it's about. And LeBron's not taking a pay cut, and I don't think he should. Why should LeBron take a pay cut when, let's say LeBron was to go back to Cleveland? You know how much money he's going to make for that town, for that team?
Oh, forget it. Absolutely.
Right? So why would I take a pay cut? And that's why I think LeBron don't want to leave LA. I think that the Lakers have treated him well. They drafted his son when no one else would.
Right.
Right? They allowed his son to grow up. If you watch Laker games now, Bron, he's a decent player. Is he a star? No.
No, but he's still very good.
He's decent, right?
Yes.
They allowed him to develop. Hopefully next year he's a better player. Why would LeBron leave? And that's why I think that we're not going anywhere. Because with LeBron taking up so much of the cap, the holes that we have, like I love Austin Reeves. He's actually my favorite player on the team. But him and Luka don't play defense.
Right. Yeah.
Like I think Luka don't want to play defense. I think Austin Reeves is not quick enough to play defense.
All right,
I think Luka just a person. I score 40 and you score 30. I'll score you. That's how he look at it, right?
That's a good point.
The Lakers have some holes that they can't fill with LeBron being on the max contract at this point in his career.
See, and here's the thing. If I'm LeBron and just everything you're talking about Brunson, I get it. He wants to get one last year, farewell, get paid. But LeBron has enough money. He got his money to burn.
But I don't think it's about his money. I think it's about the fact that I'm making you this and I'm taking that.
You know what? It could be that.
He's a businessman. LeBron's a businessman at this point. He want to own the team. I'm making you this and you're going to give me that?
Right. And right. So here's the thing. And I think I may have talked about this at the end of the Lakers when the Lakers got bounced by OKC. I have to go back and check those receipts. But I remember saying something along the lines of like, all right, LeBron, are you going to look at, let's say you're going to sign one more year in LA. Is it important for you to go out and win that title? To let's say you're going to get, instead of getting paid $55 million, you're going to get paid $27.5. Mm-hmm. Knowing that he's not the focal point of the team, even though he is LeBron James. Or do you want to maximize that, knowing that you got money through the roof, and yes, this is your last big payday, but which one's more important? And which one is going to be part of the legacy? Would you want to be in that finals, let's say game one, whether at Staples, aka crypto.com, or MSG, where would you want to be on that stage, or would you want to be just another team that's out in the second round where it's like, all right, I got paid, but that's all that matters?
Does it change his legacy if he loses a championship, or if he don't win a championship, what he do? Or he does?
No, I don't think it will change that.
The way people look at him is the way they look at him.
No,
if he had five, the people that don't like him are not going to say the GOAT. He's a GOAT.
Right. There are people going to say that. You're right. I wouldn't look at it that way. To me, I would admire LeBron if he said, yeah, I'm signing one more year, let's say $27.5 million, so we could go out and get other pieces because I want to win a title this year.
I would love him to do that. But I don't think he will.
You don't think he will? Right. No, and I agree with you.
I could be wrong, but I don't think he will.
No, right. No, and I agree with you. But we know that if he went out, if somebody were to tell him right now, LeBron, would you want $55 million a year and out in the second round, or would you want to take a pay cut and then get to a final? Not say win it, because if you're going to say win, of course you're going to take $27 million. But let's just say get to a final so we can put other pieces around you. I mean, to me, it's a no-brainer, but I understand to him, it's like, I'm going to be 42. I'm trying to maximize this to
I can't maximize anymore.
Yeah, I mean, if it was me, and right, to me, it has nothing to do with legacy because it's not as if he's going to carry this team. We know this is Luka's team. But listen, I'd have to think somewhere in his body he would feel like, yeah, you know what? If I'm going to get back to a final and get paid half of what I'm getting paid, then where do I sign? That's just me. But obviously with him and you feel like that's not the case. Yeah, and I agree with you.
I feel like it's nothing. The only thing that's guaranteed in that situation is the money. If he take a pay cut, it's not guaranteed to win a championship. He can take a pay cut and they can put players around, or they could not put players around, and he still get bounced in the second round, or injury happen. Or you just take the money and walk out with his 4 rings and 20-something years and number one in every single category you have individually for an NBA player. And I think that LeBron is just okay with that at this point. When you watch him play as a Laker fan, I think that he gave his all in that series that we did beat Houston. But how much left do you have to prove at this point? Tom Brady had something to prove. It was because he didn't win without Bill Belichick. Right. He had something to prove. So once he got that, when you watch the Bucks that next year, they didn't mean anything anymore.
Right. Yeah, because he got his title. No, excellent point. And yeah, this Bios comment. Don't tease me. Lakers finals.
Oh, that
It'd
was
be
a
awesome.
bad series for us.
Oh, they played today, but let's say who knows what the Lakers if they are going to bring in reinforcements, etc. And
No,
then
I'm talking about Kings Rangers. That's in 2014.
Oh yes,
that was the only team that I know. I'm a new hockey fan, but I started watching the Rangers in 2010. But
okay,
that's when Lundqvist, the only goalie to take you to the damn Stanley Cup.
Yep.
Lundqvist was like watching now. I know more about hockey now, and looking back to that, Lundqvist took us to the Stanley Cup. The Kings were a good team, and those guys we had were young. They later went to Tampa Bay and won a championship, but Lundqvist single-handedly was great that season.
No, he was, and yeah, I remember that series well. They were up. Now the Kings were up 3-0 in the series, and the Rangers won Game 5, and then the Kings won in double overtime to win the Stanley Cup. But yeah, like you said, Henrik Lundqvist was great. And then Bio saying, I'm hearing that the Lakers will sign LeBron for 1 year, but what's the dollar amount? Because to me, that is going to be interesting. Because if you know if it's going to be, let's say, 50 to 55 million or whatever it is, then you already know that whomever they bring in on the team is going to be pretty much $5 million players. They're not bringing in another big piece or pieces. Look, as you said earlier, Daniel Gafford, nice player,
but don't move the needle.
Right, exactly. So, and let me see, Zip. If Bron sees a top team has room over, you think he would, Zip?
Where would he go? It's hard to leave LA skies, man. It's beautiful. The weather is amazing in LA.
I know. Would he go back to Cleveland?
I wouldn't give that man another championship. He didn't like. I think he only went back to Cleveland just because that's where he's from, Ohio. He wants to deliver that to Akron in Ohio.
Right.
I don't think he give that man another dollar.
No, I agree with you there. And then I know here's another one which is crazy, and I think he may have mentioned this earlier. If he went to the Spurs,
it's tough.
Now the thing is, he doesn't have to worry about playing defense. Not that it was always a good defensive player, but he picks the spot. And I understand that narrative would be, oh, look at LeBron ring chasing. Of course he goes to the Spurs, blah, blah, blah. But Dan, what do you expect? He's 41 years old.
He's 41 years old.
He's not going to the Pelicans. I mean, come on. Let's keep it real.
He's saying he want to win, and I'm the power forward that they need.
Right.
Champagne could come off the bench.
Yep.
He's a Brooklyn guy. Champagne's from Brooklyn, so no disrespect towards him. But LeBron is still better than him right now.
Yeah. Now, Ray, I don't know if this will happen because of his
Vegas. I think the Vegas team, that's where he's going to go.
Right. Vegas gets a team. Yeah, because him and Daniel Gilbert. And listen, that makes sense, Ray, but, he and Daniel Gilbert has always had a very icy relationship. Meant to say Wemby's 22. Okay there, Val. That's what I thought. My bad. I don't think you'd ever take a pay cut talking about LeBron. I agree.
Yeah.
Bio, I agree with Tim. LeBron wants a farewell tour.
And the farewell tour in LA, in the LA jersey would be. I went to Kobe's last game in Philadelphia, and that's when he named. That's when he said, like maybe a week prior, he said that he was retiring. Now I had bought a ticket. I bought tickets to me and my dad maybe 2 weeks prior to that. We were like row 4 behind the basket. All of this from the Philly, they didn't win a game in like 30 something games. All the Philly fans told me that if I would have sold that ticket the day of, I probably would have got $600 more than what I actually paid for.
Look at that.
Per ticket.
Right. No, but you're a Laker fan. You wanted to go see.
Yeah, and my dad is a Laker Dodger fan. He's a Dodger fan from back in Brooklyn. So he had never seen the Lakers live.
Wow.
So I was like, let's go down to Philly. We could watch the man. And it ended up being Kobe's last game in Philly. It was dope.
Nice. And then LeBron, maybe Golden State. I know. Are those rumors going to start up again? I hope not.
I don't think Curry won't deal with him.
Yeah, not only that, but that means you're going to have – first of all, he's going to take a pay cut because obviously Curry's getting paid $60 million. Draymond, 25? Jimmy Butler's still on the books for 50-something. I mean, unless they just don't care about the salary cap going for next year. But, yeah, to me, that doesn't make any sense in my mind if LeBron –
No coach there. There's no coach there, right? Steve Kerr's not there.
No, he re-upped for 2 more years.
He did?
Yes.
Oh, so that changes everything then.
Right.
But you think Steph want to share that? He did it already with Kevin Durant, right? But Kevin Durant is a little Kevin Durant is like the greatest sideshow to the star, I think. Now you look at how his career became, right? He's a great talent. We know what he is, but it don't take away from what Steph is able to do. When LeBron come play next to Steph, LeBron takes over the team.
You know what? I wouldn't be surprised because of the rumors going back a couple of years that if he did join the Warriors, I think he knows his place. I don't think this is a situation where, I mean, think about this. When he went to Miami, you know, that first year where in that finals against Dallas, he was passive. He was not.
Oh, no, I'm not talking about on the floor. I'm talking about to the public eye. LeBron is bigger than everybody.
Oh, right.
To the public eye, LeBron is bigger than everybody. Like, he's still outshining Luka. Luka's the better player, but it's LeBron.
Right. Yeah, no, that'd be interesting outside the court. Listen, unless that's something that they realize that, hey, I just want to come to play with you for the 1 year, my last year, if it does come to that. And I could see that being a situation where Steph may be open to that. And obviously they have respect for one another, et cetera. But, yeah, I don't know. To me, like LeBron going to Golden State, nah, I don't know. I just don't see it because they're not going to win either. No offense to Val, because Val's a Warrior fan. He lives in Northern California. But does he retire a Laker?
I think
so.
I
think he does.
I think retire next year for the Lakers.
Yeah, it has to be it.
Yeah.
I would think. And then, Zip, if Knicks or Celtics were to tell Bron, come make your last run.
If I'm the Knicks, I'll say no.
Yeah, and if I'm the Celtics, I'd say no also.
I think about it on the Celtics.
Could you imagine LeBron playing for the Celtics? I couldn't imagine that.
I couldn't imagine playing for the Lakers. I didn't grow up like a LeBron. It's like a little marriage we have right now.
Yeah.
Him and his fans.
Right. Man,
but if I'm the Knicks, I'll say no. But if I'm the Celtics, I'll think about it.
Interesting. All right. He would make it his team if that is happening. I don't think it will. Yeah, I don't see that happening, Ray. Here, Bio has a good one here. Who should be drafted 1, 2, 3 for the NBA draft? Well, let me start here with that real quick. Darren Peterson said he's only working out for the Wizards and that's it. Here's a guy that didn't play against Arizona who went to the Final Four. And that game was in Kansas because he wasn't feeling well. Listen, his talent off the charts, but I wonder what's in here and more importantly, what's in here. I wouldn't draft him number 1. I would draft AJ DeBonsa. Who do you think?
I'm a Peterson guy. I like Darren Peterson.
Do you really? Oh, shit. No, and I like him as a player. Don't get me wrong. But I just wonder, man, where his head is at.
Who do you think is third? Boozer? I think everyone's going to agree with that, right?
Oh, yeah, I think Boozer. Yeah, I would think if I'm the Wizards, listen, I know you can't knock Peterson. They may draft him. I would say DeBansa, Peterson, Boozer. I would even go, that would be the top 3.
But the Wizards, they got Anthony Davis, Trae Young. Yeah, they had a little team over there, right? Got a little young couple.
Yeah, I know. I'm not on top of Wizards basketball. Let me see if I pull up the roster. Yeah, because they traded.
Darren Peterson said that he's willing to play the 1.
Oh, he is. So that means Trae Young's going to play off the ball?
Off the ball?
I know, that's tricky.
Yeah,
and you know he doesn't play defense at all. He's not even man. He's so small that he doesn't play defense.
See, an NBA draft is not like the NFL draft where you could just trade down. They're like, you know what? I don't want to deal with these two. I'll trade down to 3 and I'll take Boozer. And then I'll get some other draft capital because what matters in an NBA draft outside of like the first 10 to 15 picks? Well, I don't want to sound like that because they all picks that's low and that were really good. But I'm talking about just like every year.
No, absolutely. No, without question. There, Tim. Yes, I'm looking at
something. But if I'm the Wizards, Boozer might be the best thing for them, right? Don't they need someone that like a wing player? I'm trying to find the Wizards roster.
Yeah, I'm pulling it up here.
Alex Saul is there.
The guy they drafted that you figured if you're going to put what you call that the 4, if you're going to put
him at the 5,
right?
Trae Young at the 1, Keyshawn George at the 2. Yeah, Boozer good. Boozer at the 3.
Yeah, you could do that too.
Boozer at the 3. But you can't draft him 1. You can't draft him 1 and the other 2 turn out to be stars and then Boozer just become like a regular Duke product.
Right.
which is tough.
No, it is. Yeah, I know. Other than that, they really don't have much. I mean, if you're going to look at guys like, yeah, I'm not even going to count D'Angelo Russell. Yeah, Cam Whitmore. I know there's a lot of promise from him.
He may not even be there next year, D'Angelo Russell.
Probably. Yeah, I would think.
He'll be back on the Lakers with us. We always seem to go pick him up again.
Yeah, exactly. He'll make another appearance. Yeah, they definitely got. I mean, listen, if those guys can stay healthy, and Trae Young and Anthony Davis, and then you bring in, listen, all right, let's say it's Peterson, because then you have a guy that obviously can play the two, although he says he wants to play.
He says he wants to play the one. He said he
right.
Play the one.
I mean, I guess you're going to put.
And he wants to go to Washington. So you'll put Trae Young at the two, undersized, or you can have Peterson guard the twos.
Right. Yeah, I guess you'd have to do that. But so you think the top three would be, in your order, Peterson, DeBanta, Boozer?
Yep.
Yeah, I can see that absolutely.
I think DeBanta and Peterson go one-on-one. Go either or, depending on whatever you want.
Uh-huh. And the novice here, even though he has the Eagle logo, but he's also a huge Laker fan. Staying a Laker, going back to Cleveland.
I just don't see Cleveland. I could be wrong. I just don't think that he likes Dan Gilbert. I think he want to go give Dan Gilbert his farewell tour. It's about that. LeBron's going to announce that he's retiring.
Right. Once I can see it once he signs, and I hope he does it soon. I hope it's not training camp or, just announce.
It'll be on his own merit. But Jeannie Buss, I'm not saying because I'm a Laker fan, but Jeannie Buss is taking care of him. She's taking care of him.
Yeah.
His family, whatever he needed, he got it. Whatever coach he wanted, he got it. He wanted Vogel. He wanted Redick. He wanted the one Darvin Ham. He got it.
Yeah.
Whatever he wanted, he got it.
No, hey, listen, when you're LeBron, you got that power. So
he got the
Trae
power.
$48 million. Yeah.
Yeah, Trae Young, I don't know. Atlanta got better when they got rid of him.
No, they did.
Anthony Davis is a 4, Saw is the 5. Yeah,
Yep,
so if AD is a 4 and Saw is a 5, then you got who we had on this thing.
Oh, Cam Whitmore. Yeah, I don't know. D'Angelo Russell's probably not going to be there, but let's just say, right. So if you have the number one pick, Young, Davis, Sarr, and I guess whomever your
the Keyshawn George guy is good too.
Yes, I did see him there also, and he would probably fit in even better because a lot wouldn't be expected of him considering based on reputation with the other guys on the team.
High, yeah.
So yeah,
I think the right move for them would also be Boozer.
Oh, Boozer?
But it's just tough at one.
Right.
It's tough at you can't. I don't think you can pick Boozer at one.
Not
with those other two. It's too much talent there. I think Boozer is a pro, right? So we know that. I think he's gonna come in and I think Boozer end up being like, "Don't kill me," everyone later on. I think Boozer would be something like Tobias Harris, probably a little better.
Oh.
Right. Tobias, he had a good career.
No, he did.
I feel like when you say Tobias Harris and you talk about someone's going to go to the third pick, you start saying disrespecting somebody.
Right.
But when you think Tobias Harris was a great product coming out, he was a big product coming out of college.
Yeah, Harris is, listen, obviously he's made a ton of money. He was on those Sixer teams before that, Orlando. And obviously here, he had a good year with the Pistons. But right, like you said, but for the third pick, you're like, wait a minute. You obviously want a lot more for that. And then
let me check. Let me make sure I'm not. Because I don't want to just say Tobias Harris and then 5 years from now people come back and say he called him Tobias Harris. Yeah. I'm not trying to disrespect him at all.
No, definitely not. Now, I know Bio has a very interesting trade proposal.
Whoa. Timmy thoughts Lakers maybe going after Daniel Gafford to pay again with Luka.
All right, so here's this. Here you go.
Lakers trade Connect Vanderbilt and draft pick number 26 for Gafford. Well, we're not using Connect, so we might as well get rid of him. I like Vandy, but he's a person, he's disposable. And 26 pick, what is the 26 pick? The thing is that, does Gafford give us more than what DeAndre Ayton gave us? Even though DeAndre Ayton was unplayable in the playoffs. I get it. J.J. Redick wanted to kill that guy. But he had a good season. He had a good season. His second half was good, right? Daniel Gafford is not moving the needle. He was good with Luka, but he's not moving the needle. The Lakers need to find a gem at center. I don't know who's that going to be.
I know those guys don't grow on trees either.
They don't grow. It's not the same anymore. You don't get those centers like back in the days. You're getting serviceable guys to play center for you now.
Yeah, because when you think about it, I mean, geez, like the Andre Drummonds of the world, if you're looking for a veteran guy, or
it's nothing there.
It's pretty bad. Yeah, it's really bad.
I mean, I'll take Gafford. Would that be a little bit too much for him?
Wait, say that again. You'll get.
I'll take Gafford, but would connect Vanderbilt and the 26.
Oh, would that be enough?
Would that be too much or enough for Gafford? I think Connect could be good. I think he's not being utilized correctly.
Right, which I'm a little surprised because in his first year he was actually good when he played, and last year I think he was just stuck to the bench.
I think Austin Reeves got better. Like Austin Reeves was averaging 15 points, 16 points. He went up to 25 points per game.
Yeah,
so you gotta get him more shots, and you can't have him again. You can't have Connect, Austin Reeves, and Luka on the floor at the same time. None of them play defense.
Right. Yeah, that's a problem.
And then LeBron is 50. So it's no way. Like that's the problem. I think the Lakers gonna have to trade Luka, not Luka. One of the three gonna have to go. Luka's not going. Yeah. Austin Reeves gonna have to go if you're gonna keep LeBron.
Yeah, no, because he's gonna get a big time contract. Austin Reeves.
The Knicks won a championship because they played great defense as well. Let's not overlook that. They have 3 great defenders on that team on their starting lineup. Josh Hart we know he's the heart of the team. He plays great defense. We know what OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges do. They're long, lengthy guys who play great defense.
Yeah.
Let's not take away from that. Brunson was getting busy, but they were also playing really good defense on that San Antonio team. The Lakers going to have to play defense if they want to go far in the playoffs. And we cannot do that with LeBron being 40-something years old, and then you having Austin Reeves and Luka Doncic, who just won't play defense at all.
Yeah, I know. It's just a shame.
It's just not going to work.
No, I agree. Trae Young. Yes, he is injury prone there, Val, without question.
He is.
Jaden Quansitz from Kentucky. You're talking about as far as to draft bio?
In top 3 pick?
Yeah, I'm curious. The Memphis Grizzlies are the team watching this draft with the 3 and 16 in Josh Future.
That's tough.
I know. Listen, if I'm Memphis, I don't know what you're going to get back from him. I know you could get back something, but considering that his star's falling a lot, I would definitely move him. And I understand it can be risky because you're not going to get anything equivalent as far as that type of talent. And I always thought the 2 places I thought he would go to would either be Miami, which could be dangerous for him, or if the Nets wanted to roll the dice, Brooklyn. Because they have draft capital. They could bring him in there. But again, it's New York. He could get lost in the city, whatever, and God knows what. But
here's a good chance for the Nets right here. This is a good chance for the Nets. With all the success the Knicks are having, no one's watching them. But no one's watching them, period. But they always do. They always have a little time where they make splashes. Where they remember when they went and they got they were older, but Kevin Durant,
Kyrie,
Kevin Garnett. Before that, Kevin Garnett,
yep.
Paul Pierce, and those guys. And then later on, they went and got Kevin Durant in them. Right.
Right.
Here's a chance for the Nets to build their team through the draft. No one's really paying any attention to them. Right. I think that the new way the NBA is working now is teams are building through the draft. Look at San Antonio; they built those guys through the draft. It took 2 or 3 years, right? They get lucky to get Wembanyama. Maybe there's some bias that the NBA fixed that there. The Thunder built their team through the draft. Indiana built their team through the draft. The Knicks built their team through the draft and traded. They traded for these guys. They drafted. Quickly all those guys. Those were draft picks that they picked, and they traded. And they traded those guys to get OG Anunoby, to get Josh Hart, to get signed Jalen Brunson. So the new wave of the NBA now is drafting players and developing them, right? So the Nets have a chance right now to quietly, build something.
Yeah, and for them, listen, obviously they're never going to overtake the Knicks in the city, but
No, never.
When do you think you're retired? or actually retire. You think he's hanging on? That's me not being hated being on. You're talking about LeBron, Ray? I think that's probably LeBron.
When do you think you're retired? Actually retired, because I think he's hanging on, and that's not me being hated on.
I think that's probably in reference to LeBron.
What did he average last year? 25?
I want to say, what was he like? 22?
22, 23?
Yeah, let's see. I would say like 22, 23, probably 7 and 6. That's going to be my guess. I'm going to pull that up now, though. 20
points.
Yeah, 20 point. So a shade under 21, 7 and 6.
It's hard to retire with those numbers.
For a guy that's 41 years old, I mean,
it's hard to retire with those numbers. If you look at Vince Carter, he was averaging 8 points, 6 points. Yep. Like, it's hard to retire averaging 27 and 8.
It's impossible.
It's hard to retire, especially because he did look good as a third guy.
Right. No, that's the thing. Yeah, so this is what Bio was saying. You're a defensive stopper, and the draft pick for the Lakers at 26. Yeah, I hadn't seen.
So if you believe that from Kentucky, then we shouldn't trade for Gafford.
Oh, good point.
I just don't think Gafford moves the needle. I think that's just like a new name. Like, all right, we got Daniel Gafford. Like, it's just so hard, and he know and he understand this. He's a. I'll put in the chat here. I haven't released a podcast episode because I actually worked on one just now, but I've been working on a film that I'm because I'm a filmmaker as well. So okay. I filmed this week. I had a short film that I did on Monday. But I added this in. But what's the question we was asking about?
The draft pick for the Lakers is 26.
We said something about Gafford. I'm trying to remember who I had. Like how Gafford doesn't move the needle.
We try to find another guy.
Yeah, I lost my train of thought with that.
No, that's all right.
Oh, back to like, I don't think that these guys move the needle for the Lakers. What I think we're in a bad place. Where do we go? Who's there in free agency? I think the only move you could make is probably trying to go get Giannis for the Lakers.
Yeah.
But that involves trading Austin Reeves. So now if you say you have Giannis, LeBron, and Luka, now I may have a different thought about where Lakers can go next year. Because of course, you have to build a team around that. But the Lakers, the way we're constructed right now, we're first round, second round out. And it's nothing a guy like Daniel Gafford can do. Nothing like a guy like Mitchell Robinson can do to change that.
Right.
Mitchell Robinson's not coming to the Lakers to put us over the hump. Daniel Gafford's not coming to the Lakers to put us over the hump. He said LeBron's hanging on as a stretch. He is still productive. He is. Yeah. I agree. I think LeBron is still productive.
Big time.
I'll put my see if I don't want to get out of this. At the end, when I get off, I'll put my link for my YouTube channel.
Oh yeah, because Ray was asking that too.
Yeah. I'll put it in. But yeah, I just think that LeBron is still good. He's still good especially as a third guy. I think the Lakers have to find a better second guy. And Austin Reeves is my favorite player on the Lakers. But again, I said this probably countless times. With him being your second player and Luka being your first player, there's no one there that can play defense.
Yeah, and that's the thing. They're going to need to defend, especially when you're going up against the likes of Nikola Jokic.
Now, if you have Austin Reeves, Luka Doncic, and Giannis, then it worked.
Right.
If you have Luka, Giannis, and LeBron, then we're talking. But one of these two have to go.
Right. And that's the thing. It's interesting because I'll get back to Ray's comment, but I like what Bio just said here. They don't take that extra until they get rid of LeBron.
I agree with that. But Giannis changes that.
All right, but now here's the thing. Here's an interesting question. Everything we talked about, 10 minutes ago. So let's say you're LeBron, and it's like, yeah, I want to get paid $55 million next year. I'm just throwing that number out. But then Rob Pelinka says, you know what? We're this close to getting Giannis, but you're gonna have to get paid $27 million because we're gonna have to max him out. They already maxed Luka out, and who knows what they're gonna do with Reeves? But let's just say, for argument's sake, the only way we bring Giannis in is if we pay you $27 million a year. Does LeBron say yes?
Yes.
And he would have to. If he said no, it's like, nah, I want to get paid.
Well, if he say no, then they're going to look at him wrong.
Right.
At that point, if you could get Giannis and pair him up with Luka, and LeBron, all you have to do is take a pay cut, you know the Lakers they're gonna do the Jalen Brunson. You know Jalen Brunson got paid underneath the table.
Yeah.
That money went to the father. The father got those extra millions in the check. That's just my joke, but it could be some truth to it.
Right.
But LeBron, if you get a chance to get that, you don't say no. You take the pay cut. If it's really about winning.
Right. Yeah.
And at that point, if I'm the Lakers, if you say no, then get rid of him and we keep Austin Reeves.
That's it.
We could pay Austin Reeves $27 million. He'll take it and stay. He's staying on the state anyway. Lakers can trade Austin and picks for Greek Freak and try to sign Shammy. That's a competitive team. I think Shammy's going to get overpaid this year.
Oh, I can see that.
Stay away from Shammy. Stay away from Shammy.
Yeah, because he'll get like that 3-year, I don't know, $45 million deal.
Stay away from him. He was perfect on. He will be like Gabe Vincent.
Oh, yeah, who killed the Celtics in those playoff runs when he was in Miami, by the way.
Stay away from Shammy. It's a perfect match for him on the Knicks. The Knicks probably won't even re-sign. The Knicks will re-sign Alvarado. Alvarado's the guy you re-sign.
Oh, no, I can see that.
Yeah. Because you're not dependent on him to make shots.
Right. Just bring energy. Toughness, etc. Let me see. Yeah, you're right about this. Yeah, John Morant he has quite a few there, Val, without question. For a good call there.
Yeah.
And I got to shout out Mark Sammons. I know Mark is coming out. I'm surprised he didn't make a Hal Morris comment. He's always saying things about Hal Morris, saying that he didn't. And you're a baseball guy too, but I'm not going to unpack that because every time he gets at me about Hal Morris playing in the 1990 World Series, Reds and A's. But I want to get back to Ray's comment here. Do you think Becky Hammond will ever say sorry with the whole 1A Brunson? Oh, you're never going to win a championship with someone that's small. I don't know if she's going to apologize in my eyes because there is some truth to that. But Brunson is that guy. Brunson is the one guy that 1 out of a million because obviously Allen Iverson never won. I love Iverson. I know Isaiah Thomas back in the day. But, yeah, guys that are under 6'3", you can't bank on them winning a title. But Brunson, again, he's the anomaly.
I think you're allowed to be wrong.
Yeah.
I don't think she would apologize. I think she would still stand on it. Like, hey, Brunson, you were the one person that was able to do it. But it doesn't mean that there's going to be many of you coming after.
Right.
It doesn't mean that. I think that she won't say anything. I think when she see Brunson, she will. I think she should go on her platform and congratulate him.
Right, if she hasn't done so.
Yeah, that's the part of being someone that speaks. Like I said, Boozer could be Tobias Harris. If he turns out to be someone bigger than that, I have to come back and say I apologize.
Right. And then the funny thing is, here we are talking about Trae Young, and let's say the Wizards are good, but I don't think people are going to think if Trae Young has this hot start or is healthy and he's carrying the Wizards that they're going to think, now the Wizards are going to be part of the championship mix and think that a guy, and what is he, 5'10", 5'11"? Mm-hmm. So, yeah, now all of a sudden, watch this, we'll get like some sort of rebirth for his smaller players who are carrying their team, and next thing you know, and again, it's all about the heart. It's not even about the talent. But watch that be a narrative going into next year where some small guy is going to want to try to dispel the truth about, small players can't win championships.
And Trae Young, he does have heart. We've seen it against the Knicks. He went to the conference finals.
He did.
He does have heart. Is he Jalen Brunson? We'll see.
No, yeah, exactly.
We'll see.
Yeah, sure. Oh, no, absolutely.
I agree. Yeah. I don't think she was wrong. I think I agree with what you said, too. I think that she was just one off at this point.
So, yeah, exactly.
Yes, yeah, he should. You know why? Because he sounds stupid.
But no, and like we said with Brunson was perfect. Like, here it is. We signed Jalen Brunson back in 2022, and then now forget about it. He's bulletproof.
Because it's okay to say I don't think Jalen Brunson is the guy that's going to put us over the hump. But when you shit on him as if you didn't watch him play throughout his career, like you watched him play in Dallas. Every time Luka sat down, Jalen Brunson was good.
Yeah.
And you watched him win in college.
Yep.
So there's some type of something there. You know what I mean? Like you could at least gave him some grace. You made it seem like he was like trash.
Right.
But like I think Stephen A was a part of it too with the Patrick Mahomes thing. Now, I'm a guy who booed Patrick Mahomes when we drafted him. It wasn't because I said he was trash. It was because I didn't know who he was. And at that time, Deshaun Watson was the guy.
Yeah.
And the Chiefs traded up. I liked Alex Smith. Alex Smith took us away from Tyler Thigpen and all those Matt Castle, all those bums that we had. Right? And Deshaun Watson was the guy. And we traded up and didn't pick him. So I'm like, what are we doing? But I was wrong, and I stand on that.
Yeah.
Like these guys they just shit on these guys for ratings.
Yep.
And y'all have better knowledge than us because y'all have researchers.
Yeah, and they have people that they speak to, whatever, insiders.
Yeah. Like I don't understand how you have all of these insiders. You could actually speak to someone who actually went down there and scouted a Jalen Brunson, and scouted a Patrick Mahomes, or scouted a Giannis, or scouted some of these guys. And you still get on your platform and just disrespect these guys as if they're trash.
Yep. And then when they turn out to be wrong, then that's when they praise them. And in this case, because he's a Knicks fan, of course, Brunson now, he's on top of the world where it's like.
But he was just saying Mike Brown should be fired during the Hawks series.
Yeah. When he was down 2-1, which is crazy when you think about it. Jeez.
2-1 doesn't mean the series is over.
No, I know. 2
games, and they lost by 1 point in both of those games.
Yep, both games, thanks to CJ McCollum.
Yeah. Like, what do you mean we lost by 1 point in both games? You mean to tell me we should fire the coach?
Yeah.
What type of journalism is that?
No, it's just it's typical. But like you said, it is for ratings, and that's one of the reasons why I can't watch that show. I understand I watched it today so people can say Jay Reels, but to me, it was more what Russo was going to say, especially after – because I didn't watch any of the stuff Monday or Tuesday because I knew that Stephen A was going to be on his high horse.
Yeah.
But I wanted to see if they were still going to talk about it today, which they did. And I know here I am going to get on a Stephen A kick, but I'm sure you feel the same way. It's when they want to check their receipts, they'll check them. But when they know that they're wrong in that, it's like the receipt never happened. Or the receipt never – and that bothers me. It's like, where's your integrity?
I was one of my friends. I actually had on my pod. He's a big Knicks fan, and Mike Brown's the coach of the Lakers, and I was big on not liking Mike Brown. Now I didn't say he was a trash coach. I said there's no difference between him and Tibbs, right? Great defensive coaches. They won championships as assistant coaches. They go to a team. The team plays well in the beginning, and then you start to see the team faults a little bit, right?
Right.
Mike Brown proved me wrong. What I did, I don't know if I'm going to release this episode that I actually did, but I stood on. I said Mike Brown proved me wrong. Say it. What is so hard to say that?
That's it.
Guys get better. Guys go. Sometimes there's certain circumstances that we don't know, especially as a person. Like we create content. There's times when people don't see what we're going through to create this content.
Right.
Right? So you don't know what Mike Brown was going through when he was in Sacramento. You know what he was going through when he was in LA. And now the situation with the Knicks was perfect for him. Just like the situation with the Warriors was perfect for Steve Kerr. But you just don't know what happens. You don't know what's going on behind the scenes. So therefore we should be going there and just killing somebody. And if we do kill them, stand on that same platform and apologize to that man. Or that woman.
No, exactly. And that's the thing, because obviously everybody knows me being a Met fan. I know you also love the Mets too. And not to go down that road, but I've been destroying David Stearns and pretty much Steve Cohen last week sitting courtside at the Garden, whatever. And not that this is going to happen, but let's just say for argument's sake, the Mets turned their season around to the point where, oh my God, they made it to a World Series. Forget about winning, whatever. But let's say they made it to it. Yeah, I'd have to eat crow because I wanted everybody out. I wanted them to open the windows to get the bad air out, the fresh air in. And it was a situation where it's like, I've had enough. I've seen enough from the GM. I've seen enough from the manager. Obviously, the owner. And obviously, the owner's going to stay. It's not as if he's going to go anywhere. But my point is that in making content, I'm going to make as a fan, but also to be realistic, to know that what it is I'm going to say, I'm standing by that. I'm not saying it just to throw it out there. I'm not saying this, let me just get clicks or whatever, or to piss off the Met fan. No, because it's all factual. And and I want to be wrong. You think I want to be right to say?
You want to be wrong.
No, exactly. Going into the season, I thought the Mets were going to be, I said it, they were going to be a wild card team. They probably get to the division series. That's it. Based on what they did. And it's been an out-and-out disaster. So obviously I was wrong in that regard, thinking that they were even a playoff team. And now I have to eat crow with that. But with that being said, as me destroying this team, I'm not out of line. I'm not out of pocket. I'm not like, oh, well, he doesn't even know what he's talking about. No, they're 32-41 for a reason. I mean,
you know what? You know what is nuts because of the fact that speaking of someone last time I was on the pod, it was like run far, but it's not too late to go back to the Yankees. And I started laughing, right? Because being a new Met fan, I have more patience than y'all. Right. So like I'm in my chat talking to all my family, old Met fans, and I'm being optimistic about David Stearns. And I get it from y'all standpoint. Y'all like, Tim, you're new here, so you don't understand how it feels to suck every single year or whatever it is.
Right.
But me, I think that David Stearns, I think the one decision I think that was wrong was Pete Alonso.
Absolutely. I agree.
Just because of the fact that if you look at what this team need right now, the Mets, they need another bat. So it's a one-man army right now. Bichette is coming alive within the last couple of weeks, right?
Oh, yeah.
And Lindor has been hurt, so we can't really include him in that. But if you had Pete right now, you win 5 or 6 more games. Those games where you're losing 2-1, 2-0, 3-1, because they lost. How many games did we lose by? We only scored 1 point, 1 run.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Pete Alonso was important in that 4th slot, batting cleanup, or maybe batting 3rd, right? If he's still there now. But if you look at the Nimmo situation with the kids, worked. Carson Bench and AJ Ewing is a better situation than Nimmo.
They played well.
Marte, right?
Yeah.
And if you look at second base with Simeon, defensively, he's better than what Jeff McNeil was or Acuna was.
And he's hit a little. Had more power.
He started hitting in the last. So if you look at it, Diaz is hurt. Devin Williams has been good. The little opportunities he's had. So you can't really kill David. I think the first base thing was annoying. The carousel, that's a bad situation. But some of the moves that David Stearns did make, they're not terrible compared to what he made in the past when he was getting Griffin Cannon and all those type of guys.
Right.
And
no, I understand.
Sean Manaea and signing these guys who was cast-offs.
Well, it's funny you say that because then I could counter with that. I could say Sean Manaea. They gave him the 3-year, $75 million deal, and he's not been good. They signed Frankie Montas, 2 years.
Oh yeah, he was.
And they're paying him this year, and he's not on the team.
He was bad for the Yankees.
Yes, Jorge Polanco, Luis Robert. So it's. I hear where you're coming from, Tim, in that regard. Where, yeah, Alonso. Obviously, that was the big one because they should have kept him there, and I understand that they're going to look at the market and he's not worth it and blah blah blah, so on and so forth. The guy, forget about him with his power numbers. You can't forget about that. But here's the thing: he played every day. Polanco, he hasn't seen the field since the middle of April. Luis Robert, his last game was April 30th. And here we are. It's already middle of June.
He's homegrown. He's a homegrown Met.
Yes.
You paid Soto $765 million. You could pay Pete Alonso. It's not going to bother you.
No.
He's been the Mets for the last 5-6 years.
Yeah.
Pay him. I'm not saying pay him for 4 or 5 years, but pay him a nice contract that he'll want to stay here. Make him feel wanted. And that's the thing that I disagree with David Stearns. But you're right. Luis Robert did get hurt. Injury-prone guy. Polanco did get hurt. Another injury-prone guy, I believe, a little bit. He was in Minnesota. So I get that point. But at this point, I think David Stearns looking at things where he doesn't want to oversign. He don't want to sign pitchers to long-term contracts.
No, that's not the Mets. Oh, this is even before David Stearns, because when they signed Yohan Santana and Jacob deGrom, they were both 5-year deals. Yeah, I wouldn't sign any of these guys. Please, Freddie Peralta. These people know how. Everybody knows.
He pitched his way out of a contract, Freddie Peralta.
Yeah, when I said these people, my apologies. My usual suspects here, Bio, J-Rod, everybody, they know how I feel about Freddie Peralta. And even then, I understand he had to take that risk because they needed a guy. He's a 6-inning pitcher at best. He has no length in these games. And he wants 8 years, $218 million, similar to what?
That.
Please.
We thought he was Max Fried, but look, Max Fried hurt already too for the Yankees as well.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
he had a great season last year, but Max Fried had an injury problem as well. And the Yankees are stuck in an 8-year deal with him. So I'm not mad at David Stearns with that. But I think that the Mets, like they've been doing in the last couple of weeks, play the young kids and see what you got.
Yeah, no, and obviously they played well. I got to give it up. Yeah, 8 in the NBA Finals, that's me. Because, of course, I picked the Spurs in 7. And I know bio Mike Brown, because he's well aware, obviously being a Laker fan. Let me see. Yeah, no, and listen, that's on the owner. And I got news for you. When they signed Soto, I wasn't over the moon. I mean, listen, was I excited? Yeah, I was. I'm not going to be stupid. But to me, that was more Steve Cohen saying, like, I want up the Yankees. This is our time, blah, blah, blah. Our time in a sense where the Yankees weren't the big bag guys on the block. We took Soto away from the Yankees. And what has that gotten us? We had a great – yeah, go ahead, Tim.
Signing Soto was about that casino.
Oh, that too? Oh, yeah.
Signing Soto was about ticket sales.
And credibility.
Signing Soto was being taken seriously in the market, in the baseball world. For the Yankees, it didn't make sense. For the Mets, it made 100% sense for them, I believe. For the Yankees, it didn't make sense because of the fact that people are going to come in Yankee games regardless. It's the Yankees. The brand.
And they had Aaron Judge.
Yeah. And they already had Aaron Judge, so you didn't really need that. And the Yankees, look at now, they're playing well without Aaron Judge for the first time. And Stanton's not playing. So
right.
It worked out for them. For the Mets, signing Soto meant a lot. It gave the fan base something to cheer about. And even right now, in dark times when the team is not really doing well, you still have somebody to come see. And that's what Steve Cohen spent that money on. At the end of the day, if the Mets could be shit for the next 3 or 4 years, people are going to come watch Juan Soto play because he's a great baseball player.
Right. No.
So you take that. You take that.
I can't disagree.
And you also say, if I want to go look at the pitch over there from Detroit, well, I have Juan Soto. When I go look at Paul Skeens, well, I have Juan Soto.
Right.
You're pitching Juan Soto in all of these meetings to these big name plays. So I think for the Mets, it was a great decision. They had to pay the money.
No, listen, I can't disagree with you on that. Stearns' big downfall was pitching.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The biggest price of Met fans and players leave. Pete should have retired. Yeah, I agree with that too.
I agree with that too.
You overpay pitchers in baseball, not unless you're competitive. Unless it's
I don't know, paying for pitchers in this day and age. Back in the day, baseball, yes, but now these guys don't eat innings enough for that. I can't pay you. I can't give you an 8-year contract with all that money, and you're only going to give me 5 innings.
You know what? I agree with that to an extent, but the thing is that you're not going to get a pitcher like when Soto came out when he did at 26 years of age, like Skeens. He's going to be, I don't even know what he's 24 now. He's probably got 3 more years. He's going to be 27. Who knows what that contract's going to look like then?
Yeah.
But it's rare that pitchers are that young to get that type of money. Usually that pitcher's 29, 30, 31. And that's the thing that I fear. And let's say even with Skubal for that matter. And Skubal, I got issues with Skubal that are bigger than his talent. And I understand that's what you're paying him for. But I wonder what's in here also. Not even in his heart. I think what's in his head, which I've talked about a million times.
And everybody can't pitch in New York.
Right, there's that. But here's my example. Last year in Game 5 of the division series, he threw 99 pitches, struck out Cal Raleigh on a 101-mile-an-hour fastball, and that was it. I'm done. You're trying to get to a league championship series. I don't care if your free agency is next year. It is right now. He should have pitched that 7th inning, and they were up 2-1 going into the bottom of the 7th. What happened? Kyle Finnegan comes in, and he gives it up. The game is tied. It goes 14 innings, and it goes into the 14th inning where the Mariners won to go to the ALCS. Who got the game-winning hit? Jorge Polanco. I mean, you can't make it up. But with that being said, this is where I question Skubal. And mind you, in the opening round against the Guardians, he went 7 2/3 and threw 118 pitches. Why are you throwing 99 in 6 innings against the Mariners for a shot to go to a league championship series? That's the problem I'd have with Skubal if I'm trying to sign him long term.
And that's the thing. Was he who's their manager? Isn't AJ Hinch their manager?
Yes.
That's an old school manager. I guarantee you, if Scuba would have said keep me in this game, he'd have kept him in.
Yeah, I would think right. If I'm
this is not this ain't he's not Aaron Boone with analytic bullshit.
Oh yeah.
He's not that. AJ Hinch is not that. He's a winner, right?
Yep.
So if Scuba wanted to stay in that game, he would have stayed in that game. But that's my point about paying pitchers nowadays, because many of them don't have that heart like that anymore. Right. So now you want to spread your money around. You want to have 4 or 5 guys in the bullpen. Because if you look at it now, every team does bullpen games now.
Yep.
This pitchers pitch every 6 days now because you do your 5 stars, you do a bullpen game. Yeah. Back in the days, guys pitched on 4 games rest. 4 days rest.
4 days rest, yeah.
Yeah, it's not the same anymore. So why would you want to spend all your money on pitches? And I think that I agree with David Stearns at that point, but you can't think that you could just take any old pitcher and think you could fix them. You can't go think Griffin Cannon and think that he's the answer. You can't go say, I'm going to go get Sean Manaea and say he's the answer. Kodai Senga is over. It's done.
Last night he came in, he gave up a 3-run homer, yeah.
It's done. It's done. Now, I'll give him this. The one he did hit on was Clay Holmes. Now, as a former Yankee fan, I was laughing at that part. But that was someone that you proved someone wrong. That Clay Holmes, he is a good starter. Right?
No, he has been a surprise. I'll give him that one. I didn't see that coming. Yeah, no, absolutely. I don't think the 70. I agree with you that, Ray, because he's going to be a DH probably when he's 31, and that means he's going to
Yeah, especially because of the fact that they're trying to get that cap floor in.
Right, the CBA expires, yeah. Make John Franco the manager?
No.
No, I know he's being silly.
Oh, I thought you said no.
Oh yeah, no, that's Mark. Yeah, he's.
I think the Mets should go get the guy from the Red Sox that just got fired.
Oh, Alex Cora.
Alex Cora, yeah.
Who knows? It could come down to that as far as maybe after the season.
Yeah, go get a veteran guy in there. Maybe even Girardi. Go get a veteran guy. Go get a guy who knows what he's doing. I think Mendoza was way over his head. It worked in the beginning. That team just got hot, and now you think that Mendoza is a good manager, but he's basically Aaron Boone. He came from there.
Yeah, right. He came from the Yankee system. Absolutely. We'll see more team no hitters than single pitcher nowadays. Analytics. I know. Yeah. Well, like Ron Darling once said, 7 is the new 9 as far as innings pitched. I think right now 6 is the new 9.
6 is the new 9.
It's terrible. Ugh.
Yeah, it's terrible. But I think that comes from now. So people don't agree with this one. I think that these pitchers are more talented now. So you have guys throwing 97, 98 mile per hour fastballs, and they're throwing 92 mile per hour changeups, 91 mile per hour changeups, sliders at 88, 90. Like these guys, the velocity on these pitchers are now is just incredible compared to back in the days. So it's wear and tear on their arms, and that's what's going on with these guys now.
No, and that's the thing when you talk about bullpen games and things of that nature, because they'd rather have guys that they're not going to pay a ton of money that are coming out of that bullpen throwing 100.
4 or 5 guys in the bullpen.
Yeah.
It's important now.
We see it time after time. I agree with you,
Ray.
I
agree. You could never have enough pitching. The Dodgers, it seems like they signed so many guys. Tell me if I'm wrong on this one. It seemed like the Dodgers signed so many guys, you don't know where they go throughout the regular season. When you look to see who pitch, you don't know who's pitching. And then as soon as the postseason comes, you start seeing Blake Snell. You start seeing Glass now. You start seeing Yamamoto. Sasaki goes to the freaking closer role. You start look. Diaz gonna come back around that time. Whatever he got going on with the thing that he did, the elbow. Yeah. But the Dodgers, whoever running that team, they're running it so well. You don't really notice how deep this team is until the playoffs come. And the reason why I love baseball is because even with that, even with the monster team they put on paper, Toronto Blue Jays was this close away from winning the World Series.
That's it.
This close, literally this close.
Yep.
On another night, that might have been safe.
Yeah. The play with Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, or how about Dave Roberts putting in Andy Pages and he made the catch in left center.
They catch in left center.
Ernie Clement. Yep. Mets are winning 7-1, by the way, which is a shock.
Oh yeah, it's a 12:30 game today, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 7-1. But McLean is pitching. I got him in my fantasy team, so hopefully.
Oh, dude, yeah, he's
did he go 5 innings today?
What's that?
Did he
Was
go
I
5 innings today? Did he go 5 innings at least today?
Well, no, he's actually they're in the bottom of the fifth now. Here's what he's done: 4 2/3, 1 hit, 4 strikeouts, no walks. So,
all right, we'll take it.
And a matter of fact, he just struck out the last batter, so he's got 5 Ks, 1 hit, no walks, and Mets up 7-1.
He's good. He just got to get control of his stuff. That's it. He's
no 100%.
But I'm gonna get ready to get him out of here now.
Yes, Sam. I appreciate you hopping on board.
Yeah, I love it. I love coming in and talking to you guys. You guys it's good. It's a great platform.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. Yeah, my diehards are always here. Let me see any more last thoughts here from the guys. Never have enough pitching. I know. Mark Sammons, Pete, he's not talking about Pete Alonso. He's talking about Pete Harnish. Remember, he's an old righty who pitched for the Mets back in the 90s. But, yeah, you're not wrong. Why not Franco? I'll tell you why not Franco in a second there, Mark. They should have won Toronto. I'm saying as a diehard Yankee fan. I don't know if what's called going to like that. Our guy, Bio Zio. Not going to league of their own because they have an infinite payroll. Yeah. And they don't care.
Most of these teams do, but they just don't want to spend the money.
Right. And this is all you need to know about the Dodgers. And it's not a knock, it's not a diss, but they're playing by the rules. They signed last year as a lefty reliever Tanner Scott, paid him 4 years, $72 million, and they told him before the World Series, go home. That's all you need to know. Other teams, they would throw him out there because of what he's getting paid and getting lit up, but he's like, nope.
They don't care.
Exactly. And they still won a World Series despite the fact that they were this close to losing.
And it's the Angels' fault. Before I go, blame the Los Angeles Angels. You know why? Because they had a chance to re-sign Shohei Ohtani, but they were cheap.
Yeah.
He went back to Anaheim with the deal the Dodgers offered him, and they could have matched it, and they said no. The money that the Dodgers are making off of that one man is the reason why all these things are happening.
Yep. And that's why they pay him. That's why they could defer $680 million to pay him afterwards, because they've made that and then some just over the last 2 years.
We spoke about the leader of your team. Shohei Ohtani showed he's a great leader. Jalen Brunson showed he's a great leader. As a Laker fan, hopefully one day Luka could be a great leader.
Yes. Oh, look at that, Mark. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And, yeah, before you go.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to put it in the conversation now. Once I get off, I'm going to switch over and put it in. I'll send the link.
All right, perfect. Tim, once again, man, much appreciated you stopping by. And I'll have you back soon. You know it.
Yes, let me know.
All right, bet.
Bet.
All right, man. That was Tim from the Tim Show. Great guest. Good stuff. My Bobby Valentine you're talking about there, Mark? What a surprise. Moreno made a bad decision. Yeah, exactly. Artie Moreno, bad decision indeed. Yeah, so I'm glad that, he wanted to come on board. I had to put him on. Give yours truly a blow. Obviously, we're getting to that sports dead zone. That's why I said that from the top. There's a couple of things I want to say, too. Let me just here it is right here. Oh, he put it in the chat. Let me see if I can copy this. Hold on, guys. All right, so here's Tim's info to the YouTube channel if you want to go there and subscribe. Did I go through? Yes, it did. Why not? All right, so Mark, let me go back to what you said something earlier. Hold on. Why not Franco? I'll listen. Does he want to manage? I don't know if he wants to manage. I'd say no. I could see if he was trying to get in, if he was on a staff somewhere. If that was the case, then I'd be open to it, but I don't think he wants to manage. So I'm not going to go to a guy and say, hey, John, I know obviously you've been a long-time Met, et cetera, et cetera. Do you want to manage? So I would just pass on that regard. Thank you, Mark. Yeah, no, he's very lively. He's excellent. He's on top of everything. So that's why I had him come back on. He says, hey, there's a few things you want to talk about the series. So therefore, I had him back. Whoop, I almost lost that there. All right. All right, a couple of things before I sign off. I know, hang on, what did I do? Oh, here we go. Real quick, I know yesterday you had a big-time performances. I also got to throw in Hovland there from the English team. But Mbappe had the 2 goals. Lionel Messi had the hat trick, as you know, I'm sure by now. And let's see, could there be a clash? Could there be a rematch? I talked about France. I picked them to win the World Cup. I thought that they would go back and get what was, I don't want to say taken away from them 4 years ago, but I'd be remiss if I did not talk about both players and the impact that they have on their teams and what that means. Listen, it's still early. We're not even a full week into the World Cup just yet, which leads to the next thing. U.S. plays Australia Friday at 3. Let's see what's going to happen with Christian Pulisic as far as his calf goes. And, I think U.S., I think it can make a big run here. I would not be surprised. I'm sure being here on, quote unquote, having a home field is going to help. Does that mean they're going to go to a semifinal or win the whole thing? It's way too early to tell. But, and I understand it's Paraguay. We can't get too crazy. It's not as if they beat a team that is going to make you raise your eyebrow. But I think the U.S. could do some damage here. We'll have to wait and see. But that's what we got there with the soccer. MLB hanging around with little to no fanfare. And I hate to say this. I get it. Ray could argue with me, say, well, the Yankees are doing well, and they are. But baseball, you haven't had a lot of big stories. I know the Braves have had a big year, bounce back year for them. I know the White Sox really got waxed by the Yankees last night, and they've been a big surprise. But other than that, you really don't have much else. You don't. I know the Brewers, they had their best 70-game start in their franchise's history, which is a little bit surprising because the Brewers, dating back to the 70s and 80s, that had very good teams, Gorman Thomas and Ben Ogilvy and Paul Molitor, and obviously went to a World Series in 82, that this is their best 70-game start. But we saw what happened last year. Am I going to think that, oh, wow, the Brewers, they're going to learn from what they did last year? No. They'll probably go up against the Dodgers, and maybe they won't get swept. They'll lose in 5, maybe 6. Because remember, the Brewers swept the Dodgers in the regular season, 6-0. But when it really counted, what happened? And they had a home field. So I'm not going to go, oh, the Brewers are a big story. No. Sorry, not this guy. And obviously we talked about the Mets. So unless there's going to be a team starting, we can even start today, that are going to go on this run and surprise people to where you could say, oh, are you going to take this team seriously? Oh, is this team a contender? I'm not going to say that right now because baseball, ever since the World Classic, the World Baseball Classic, and early on, that first month of the year where baseball was hot. People were talking baseball. Pretty much since the middle of May, it's been quiet. Crickets. As I've said, the American League has gotten better. There was a point a month ago where you had 2 teams that were 500 and above, and they were in the same division. So baseball, I'll get to the comments in a minute. And then lastly, I want to get to the 3rd Grand Slam tomorrow, the U.S. Open. I'll give my picks tomorrow on the podcast. I already have someone who I have in mind that's going to win the whole thing. Yeah, I don't know about Rory. It's actually the weather. Like I mentioned tomorrow, we may have rain. It's going to be windy. And I don't even know overall. It's funny because the weather has been, I guess, where it should be. And what I mean by that is that we haven't had the 90-degree days like we had a few weeks ago. But the weather's going to be nice. Rain tomorrow, then 82, 80, 82. So the weather's going to be perfect. But you may have some windy conditions. So that's something to keep in mind. And the course, I'll say this. I'll bring it up again tomorrow. But I'd be surprised because it's out in Shinnecock, Long Island. I'd be surprised if anybody's going to be double digits. Think about last year. And it was in Oakmont last year, was the U.S. Open, where J.J. Spawn won. And J.J. Spawn won the tournament at 1 under. You didn't have a guy win 4 under, 5 under, 8 under. So I'm talking double digits. If somebody was 10 under for the tournament or 12 or 13, You had Spawn at 1 under. Everybody else was either even or plus. I don't think that's going to be the case this coming weekend, but that's just an idea of what to expect here for the U.S. Open starting tomorrow. And I'll get into more of that then. Let's see what we got. Thank you, Mark. I appreciate that. I know you were saying stuff I wasn't going to post. And he can read the comments saying that he interviewed Tekashi 6ix9ine and all this. I mean, I know you're being silly and being funny. If it's not Hassan, was Hassan Campbell was the guy you were saying? And I know some other comments that I skipped. I didn't do that on purpose. I mean, I did skip it on purpose, I'll be honest. Only because I just wanted to get to certain points, what people were making. I mean, I wasn't going to put up the, Jay, is this Hassan Campbell? I mean, I'm not going to do that. But, and then, of course, I know that's the only one I was trying to make, and you made my point. Thank you very much, Tim. I didn't post that up there. Ray, my apologies. And then this was another one, too. Steven was a great Best Damn Sports, Tom Arnold. Forgot about that show. Yeah, that was he, DeMarco Farr, the former Ram. But, let me scroll back down, and then, I will start to land this plane sign off. Obviously, I got to refill my glass. I'm sure you can hear my voice is cracking a little bit. Let's see. Thank you, Val. You think he doesn't want to manage? John Franco? I don't think so. From afar, maybe privately, but even then, it's not as if he's on a staff somewhere in some major league team or in the minors. That I don't know. Do I think Carlos Beltran? I think he should. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Why not the Mets? They're going to retire his number. Why didn't bring him back as a manager? The Mets gave Franco the job. Oh, he wouldn't turn it down, but I don't think David Stearns is going to go to John Franco and say, hey, I want you to interview for the manager's job. Yes, they do, Val, without question. If I say Franco, no, he wasn't. Hey, listen, Mark, I got one for you. I may have mentioned this last week. You know who's the guy that I really want? That he's no nonsense. Now, they won't do it because of his background, excuse me. But the one guy that I would hire in a heartbeat, and he would hold everybody accountable. Juan Soto's not running on a ground ball to first base. Let's put it bluntly, his ass would get pulled. He wouldn't like it, and that's where he would wear thin on the players. But you know what? He would get everybody at their attention, and who knows? They may end up winning. Is Wally Backman. But he's not getting the job. So look, I'll go even one further. John Franco with the Mets in the 90s into the 2000s. Backman goes back to the 80s. Going to post shorts today. All right, Val. I got to keep an eye out for that. Guarantees been spoken about. I don't know. That I don't know. I would have heard through the grapevine of someone that Franco was in the running, but Mike Strahan, was he on that too? No, thank you, Ray. And I got to catch up on your stuff on YouTube, as well as Val. Val's always sending me stuff. You guys are great. You know that. I appreciate you all. But let me see. Anything else happening? I know the Mets, shocker. That's it, right? Jazz. WNBA schedule expands to 50 games next year. Okay. Jim Hiller, the new coach of the Leafs. U.S. Open has Scotty Scheffler. I'm not picking him, although I do like him, but I'm not picking him as my winner this weekend. I'll tell you who it is tomorrow. Yeah, so that's it. And right now in the World Cup, you got Portugal and Congo with obviously, and let's see if he scored, Cristiano Ronaldo. Who scored? No, it was not Ronaldo. It was Wow Neves. And let's see who scored first. Well, Neves scored at the 6-minute mark, and then Congo scored at the right at halftime, 45 to plus 5. So, and now they're in the 56th minute. So we'll see what happens with Portugal there. But I believe that will do it, people. Let me just see more comments. That scrolled all the way up there. Hold on. Yes, Giants have started, Ray. Excuse me, Val. My apologies. Oh, I wanted to hit this one here. Robbie Ray pitching. Let me see what else we got. Mark, be nice. And thank you, Ray. All right, I think that's going to wrap it up, people. Unless there's anything else on your mind, anything you want to talk about before I sign off. Just want to let everybody know tomorrow's podcast. I don't know if I'm going to do a podcast pregame tomorrow. I haven't thought about that yet. I know I probably should. But what is this? All right. I probably should, but I don't know if I'm going to as of right this second. We'll see. Can I get this out of here? Grand Slam. Where is this? Thank you. But yeah, you know how much I do enjoy the podcast pregame, but because there isn't really much happening in sports, I mean, I can give you a little precursor of what's to come tomorrow. The Knick Parade will actually be happening as I'll be on at 11 a.m. tomorrow, as you know. We can put that graphic up for everyone to see. Latest edition, yep. Yeah, I'll probably have that in the background. Obviously, I'm not going to have the audio on, but you have the soccer, baseball, the golf. Not everybody's going to be teed off by the time I come on live. I won't even talk NBA draft. I'll save that till Monday. I mean, unless something happens transaction-wise or rumor-wise. Ain't no rumors. I'm not going to get too hot and heavy on that. But, yeah, it's going to be a quiet show because just like I mentioned from the start, people at the very top, it's coming. To think, do I even lead with the Knick Parade? I mean, come on. Unless something happens in soccer tonight or baseball, I'll talk a little bit about the parade. I'll say, wow, look at all the people that are out there, whatever, so on and so forth. But, yeah, tomorrow's going to be a slow show, so that's why, at least as of right now, I won't have a podcast pregame. That could change. We'll wait and see. I'll put up another live at some point over the weekend. And, you know, I got you covered despite now with some downtime. Much appreciated. This is for, I guess Val would block you, Mark. Okay. You said just want to get along, everybody. But that'll do it, my good people. Another live stream just about in the books. As always, thank you guys stopping by, spending precious time as I try to get those watch hours up. And they're going up slowly but surely. I'm actually almost two-thirds of the way to get to that point where I can start monetizing on the channel. And again, goes without saying how much I thank you guys and gals hopping on board, spending the precious time. Hopefully we'll come back tomorrow, even though not a lot really cooking in the sports world, but who knows? Anything can happen at any moment. But you know I got you covered. Obviously, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. As I continue to move along this journey, not only just me personally doing this on a day in, day out basis, and obviously those 3 days, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday in particular, but your help, your participation, your contribution, it's enormous. And trust me, it does not go without it being acknowledged. Continue to hang with your boy because when this really blows up, obviously I won't forget about you guys. Here are the receipts right here. So if I bump into you, Mark Sammons, and if you say, hey, Mark Sammons, 1288 J Reels, I'll be like, hey, what's up, Mark? Even if that big time is just right here on YouTube, which if that is the case, then fine, so be it. But I'll shut up, move it along so you can go about your days. Again, thank you so much one more time. for stopping by. And as always, as long as I'm in front of this microphone and camera, I promise to deliver nothing but passion, fire, energy, fury with my thoughts, opinions, critiques, praise, analysis, feelings on anything and everything that happens on the world of diamond, ice, gridiron, hardwood, golf course, racetrack, tennis court, boxing ring, octagon, you name it. From my lips to your ears, from my heart to your soul, from wherever, whoever you are, the J Reels live stream always comes correct, directed, in full effect. From the South Bronx, the South Beach, the South Central, the South Pacific, and all points beyond. Peace, love, and God bless everybody. Enjoy the rest of your hump day. Hopefully, I'll see you tomorrow, 11 a.m. sharp. The next podcast will come at you. And until then, on the flip, baby. Thoughts about Wade May? All right, I got to answer this, Mark. Thoughts about Mayweather? Bouncing checks. Mark, I appreciate you. Thank you. Thoughts on Mayweather? Listen, he could floss. He could flash. He could talk about he's Floyd Money Mayweather, but if you're bouncing checks and doing crooked things, you're showing that you need money more than you're out here putting forth on social media or front row at sporting events and things of that nature. So, my thoughts on him is that hopefully he gets his act together because the last thing he wants is the IRS coming after him. And I'm surprised. Listen, maybe he's paying his taxes. I don't know. Obviously, I don't have that info. But, not looking good there for Floyd Money Mayweather, who obviously seems like he needs a lot more money than he puts out there. I don't know, for lack of a better word. Yes, I did see that too, Val. Very good, Ryan Craig. As Tortorella, I'll talk about that tomorrow too. I could have brought that up. I have some thoughts on that, but I'll save it for tomorrow. All right, guys. Thanks again. See you tomorrow. Peace, love, and God bless. Until next time, on the flip.